Uncertainty. Uncertainty. The unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, a sloppy start to a...
What are you talking about? How I was running the show here?
Sorry
you don't
about
have
that.
to say that.
A sloppy start to the weather this morning is where I was.
Weather. I got you.
Somebody's a little paranoid. So today is National Disc Jockey Day.
Hey,
That's right.
put a little extra in my voice.
Put a little Ron into that radio voice of yours. Davey, come on.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
There he is. He's got the
Welcome
mojo.
to the Shock Jock Radio Network.
Nice. Nice. Where'd that come from, Davey?
It's his mojo, baby.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Big weekend in football. We'll get into that just a little bit here. And I as a Bills fan, I do worry about this game. This is a toughie.
It is.
And then
Cincinnati is tough. Yeah.
And then I'm going to turn right around and say I do worry about this game. It's a toughie going into next week if the Bills can survive.
It all starts at 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon with Syracuse.
It does. Syracuse plays on the Yes Network tomorrow.
Right.
So.
And just for future reference, Colgate is going to be on CBS Sports Network on Monday. They're 7-0 in the Patriot League for the first time.
Yesterday, 2 days ago, we learned that Microsoft was laying off 10,000 employees. Before that, there was another one of the companies, might have been Facebook or something. Now this morning, Google has said they're laying off 12,000 people. So the tech industry right now is in the middle of a major shedding of weight. It's what you do in January, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that, but Google, right? Google. You could see Amazon doing it because all the holiday rush and that push is gone. But this is, we're talking about Google here.
So, and I could be wrong on this, but I thought I read that the 18,000 that I think it was 18,000 Amazon was getting rid of. A big chunk of them weren't like your warehouse workers or delivery drivers. They were like higher level people.
Yes. Yeah. What else? A very interesting story came out last night on ESPN about Hamlin, DeMar Hamlin, and they're saying that while yes, he is recovering and he's doing incredibly well in his recovery. Do you know he still requires oxygen?
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
There had to be damage to the lungs when his heart stopped.
Yeah.
So. But he's rehabbing with the Bills. So, man, I got to tell you, the way the Buffalo Bills have treated this guy is not the way you'd expect an NFL team to treat a player. You hear so many stories about, he got injured and they just kicked him to the side. These guys they're all over. They've been with him since the injury, by his bed.
Yeah,
in the hospital.
I'm not taking anything away from the way the Bills handled this or even the way the Bengals handled it initially, but I think the Bills have been great. Did they guarantee his money through their season or through this season or through the contract? I know they guaranteed him some money. Most cases, though, you're dealing with a guy who tears an ACL, not a guy who almost dies on the field.
Yeah, right. It is definitely a unique situation. We have a bunch to get to. Let's talk about last night, the planning board meeting.
Yes.
And Stewart's has been approved. That news came as a surprise. I really felt like the wave of personal opinion, not just public, but people who are public officials, the wave seemed to be leaning against allowing Stewart's to come in. But I think the fear is that you send a message. There are so many different, a good example is Panorama. So, and obviously that is completely a business district, and I understand although there is a residential area right along the side there, and then as you get on the other side of the parkway. But Panorama's closing, and you know what they're putting in there?
What?
Panorama. Of all places, I loved that place. My kids had birthday parties there. You know, I worked over in that neighborhood for a long time, and now Panorama has sold, and a car wash is going in. Man, we're going to have the cleanest cars in New York State. We have a lot of car washes.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know Panorama was going. Yeah, I played. Now, look, when I started, I used to bowl a lot.
Is bowling going by the wayside?
I don't. Well, they got one in the mall, Pins. Which
Yeah.
Can I give an honest review on two? First of all, I wanted to shout out Sunset Bowling, which doesn't exist anymore. It's like a business office, but it's just down the road from where Panorama was. I used to play there as a kid all the time. Then it was Panorama was the place that you went all the time, right? And
everybody, if you were a kid growing up, you had a birthday party. Somebody in your class had a birthday party, and one of the go-tos was doing it at a bowling alley.
You got Vista Lanes over in Yorkville. That's been there for quite some time, right next to the McDonald's. And then we had his birthday party at Pins in the mall, which was cool, but it's a little different. It's like, bowling alley 2.0. And I think this helps with, how the machine would get jammed when they'd be resetting the pins? I think this helps with that. But if you go to Pins, this is the first time I'd been there for his party, all the pins are on a chain rope. So they all come up and go down at the same time every time. So let's say you get 8 pins, you got 2 left. They all come up and they're all connected. And it's not set up the way it used to be. Also, and I don't know if this was only because it was a kid's party, there's no oil on the lanes, which I thought was weird. I was like, how do you get the ball to hook?
Right.
Or how do you stop the ball from hooking? Maybe that's what it is.
So, right?
Everybody I saw was either had the little, that little slide you throw the ball down because they were kids, so everything was going straight into bumpers.
You ever played that candlestick bowling? We were in we were in Maine, and they're like candlestick pins. They're much thinner, and the ball is more like much lighter but more like the size of a shot put. Yeah. So, for me, with the size of my hands, this is like unbelievable. It's like the first time I grabbed a Nerf football, it's like, holy cow, look what I can do with this thing. So that you can get an amazing curve hook.
Sure.
On those small, that thing will you'd watch that thing go around, and then just as it hit the edge, it came swooping back in. I love that game. Yeah. We might have gotten stuck on that, and we probably played for 2-3 hours on that. I'm compulsive. No, we're gonna keep playing. We don't have this at home. We will keep playing. Let's go. You're having fun. Have fun.
We're gonna be sitting around on a Saturday night in Central New York, wishing we could be here.
That's right. But there's a good example. Coming back to the purpose of the conversation, there's a good example of. We don't basically say we allow competition to play out. So, let's just say, and I don't know the situation. It may very well be at Panorama. Like anything else, the owners decided to retire, and so nobody wanted to take it over, and they had a chance to sell the property at a bigger price. So that's what they did. Or is it possible that Pins in the mall just pushed in on their business to the point where they're like, enough is enough? I don't know what the cause of the closure is.
Well, right, and I don't either. And
But we allow either way. You allow competition to.
Correct. And as far as the planning board goes, I almost think they needed, other than objections from neighbors, they needed a more concrete reason to stop the project, right? Because almost they're picking winners and losers if they're doing that, because it's like, oh, well, you know what? If a popular fast food chain that we don't have in the area was going in, well, because you can't get that around here, so maybe we'll say,
right,
because all you have to do is drive down the road for the next gas station.
I think the argument was a bad argument. However, as Greeley has taught us, in the bar and liquor, definitely in the liquor store area or package stores as they call them, they before they issue a license, there has to be a need in that neighborhood. So they will look at, before they issue a license for a liquor store, they will look at how many other liquor stores are there, what's the competition, is there is there a need, or are we saturating the market here in this neighborhood? And they'll look at it that way to determine whether or not somebody gets a license to open a liquor store.
I think your point, your analogy is spot on, though. So it's like you could make the argument, neighbors live over there, do we really need another car wash? There's one down the road this way, there's one down the road that way. Why can't we have what we want to go in there?
And,
right?
Sadly, there was that old car wash. Was it Minute Car Wash? What was the one that was over by City Liquors? And
right, yeah.
And you'd go through there, and there was 8 people waiting for you as you're driving through, and they're all having a blast, and they're hand wiping and hand toweling your car as it goes through. That was pretty cool. But now that's all been eliminated by the touchless concept.
Well, true, and there are others that do use the your car is touched, but like you said, you got 6 people. What are you paying them? $15 an hour? I mean, how many car washes you got to do to just cover salary for all the people?
You're right. And I don't know when that business went out, the one over there by City Liquors, but it's now gone.
Right.
It's kind of closed up now.
Yeah, it's over there behind the Arby's, and there's a car shop as well. I'm not sure what's replaced it. But, yeah, there are several car washes around, and they're all high-tech, right? I mean, we've got one across the street here on River Road in Marcy. And I guess I'm throwing free plugs out there.
This is a new one.
That's a new one. They got it set up where you can come in. They got the big vacuum attached, right? That's the new thing with the car washes. It's like a one stop. You can get the vacuum. They got these brushes for mats. They got all kinds of different stuff that you can do with them. So I don't know. And the other thought I had on the analogy with the car wash and the bowling alley is Panorama is a giant bowling alley. It's number of lanes, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of got that older feeling look, so maybe it needs to be renovated a little bit.
That's not
my
point.
point.
I loved it.
So did I. I grew up there,
Yeah.
But all the new car washes, they all have like these disco lights, right? And it's the same thing in Pins. You walk in there, and it's like, you're at like a Saturday night party. They got special lights and certain music
Strobe lights going.
Yeah, it's a different feel than the old 80s bowling alley.
Car washes were big back in the 70s. So big that there was even a song. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, the car wash song. I don't know. We're probably due for another car wash song. Or are there too many car wash songs out there? Is that what we're going to say? Yeah, we don't need a car wash song. There are too many out there already. They're all over the place. Yeah. Anyway, I'll play more of that.
Bill didn't think the intro was so long on that.
I didn't. I thought we were going right into the hook. I never did like that song. It was Car Wash and Rubber Band Man. Just weren't for me back in the 70s. Here's Stefan Rubitsky, who I believe might have been at the meeting last night. Well, hello, Stefan. You were there.
Well, hello, Bill. No, I was not.
Okay. All right.
Did you watch online?
Was it online?
I watch on the news on WKTV.
Got it. Okay.
And the other station, WUTR, and I think the planning board made the right decision to go ahead with Stewart's, and also the people that are afraid of crime. In South Utica, crime is very little. I live in the area in South Utica, and crime is
Yeah.
It's not that bad, and I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Well, I do have to say
I think they did a great job.
All right. I do have to say that when we had the people in, what was their last name when they were
Hage?
The Hages who were in here the other day. For the first time, I saw the personal side. Like, they moved there and they, invested in their properties and they love their home and they love their property and their backyard. And all of a sudden now a whole bunch of things are coming down. Trees are going to come down. Houses are going to come down. And lights are going to go up. And it's going to be a completely different backyard for them. And it gave me that personal, right? So you can look at it. So I felt bad, but I honestly, after they came in the other day, I really felt like there was a good chance the planning board was going to deny this. And now, on the other hand, you have an owner who wants to sell the property. He has a great opportunity to sell the property and make some money, an investment, and isn't that what capitalism is all about? So this is how it ends. So, Stefan, you're happy you will actually frequent that Stewart's.
Yes, I will, and the ice cream is very good at Stewart's.
Yes, it is. Okay, all right, Stefan. Thanks, man.
Find me a place who has bad ice cream, though.
And by the way, Stefan, I can tell you there's a couple.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I got salmonella once at an ice cream place. Not really, but it can happen.
Wow.
Stefan, no stupid trips this weekend, okay?
Okay.
All right, goodbye.
All right. So I have to say I got a message yesterday afternoon, and this is from a listener who checks out the show every day, and I can tell you that he's got a hand in the transformation of downtown Utica. Here is his message. Hey, I've been busy working all day. Any update? Did my future councilman make it home from Syracuse? So I said, yeah, he made it back. He's all right. He goes, with Stefan, he shows up for a good time, has no real plan, relies on his working friends to foot the bill. Running as a Democrat makes perfect sense for Stefan.
Okay, that's for you, Stefan. You run as a Democrat.
I said good morning. That had me in stitches yesterday.
Okay, this according to Rich, Panorama, Bagel Grove, and McDonald's all leased from the same property owner, who is my longtime attorney. I believe they are losing their leases, but I'm not sure it's a car wash going there. I heard it yesterday, so maybe it's not a car wash, but I heard it's a car wash that's going in there. And Richard, maybe I'm wrong. Are you saying, Richard, that the McDonald's and the Bagel Grove are going to be leaving that property?
Wow.
See, now we've started we got to really dig in and find out what's going on.
Please update there. And I'll tell you, I don't know. I don't know if there's enough room over there. But if that was the case, you'd think McDonald's would be looking to buy where Stewart's is. They would have been in on the bidding if that's the case.
Well, if I'm McDonald's, you're right there on that. That's a busy corner. Burstone Road, the Parkway, Genesee Street.
Yeah.
It's a business district right there with the grocery store. And that McDonald's has been there for many, many years.
Yeah.
I would think that moving all the way down by the Raspberries location would be a real step down. And I'm not.
But it's better than not having a spot.
You're right. We should say there is no news story here that says that any of those properties are leaving. I don't want to start rumors.
Right.
But Richard, I'm just told that the Panorama is going to be closing on June 1st or July 1st, one or the other. And it's a car wash that's going to ultimately be going in there. That Panorama lot and the lot behind it is enormous, right?
Yeah.
Because that at some point stuff was taken down in the back there to allow for parking at Murnane Field as well when the Blue Sox were big. Anyway,
was that a gas station that was over there years ago?
I don't know. I
can't
don't
remember.
know. I've always
but
known
there's
it
also the pizza. There's a pizzeria on that back corner also, right across
Tony's.
from.
Yep. Okay, what else do I have here? So the Stewart's passes last night. I thought that was interesting. And, it is a big deal for the neighbors who live over there, but also a big deal for the people who supported it and for the owners of the property that wanted to sell. Let's move on. Weather. We're dealing with some closures and delays, mainly delays this morning because it is sloppy out there. And there's a lot of rain falling. If this all came in the form of snow,
yep.
I I can't help but believe it would be we'd be talking about feet of snow right now.
Yeah, very possible. And if you think, the last week or two as well, it has rained significantly
A lot.
and steadily
Yeah.
over several days. We would just have these small, I wouldn't even want to say storms, but we'd get 2 or 3 inches today, another inch tonight, 2 or 3 tomorrow. It would just keep adding up. So I'm for one, I'm grateful that we've been dealing with rain.
So let's talk about what the National Weather Service is talking about here today. And Davey, you should leave sometime soon to pick up Phil. Okay, Phil Selman, Fat Cats Comedy Club. Their shows tonight. There's room tonight at the 7:30 show and tomorrow night at the 7 p.m. show. No room in the 9:15 show tomorrow night. Okay, so here's where we are with this weather. We'll continue with rain and snow this morning. It'll transition, they say, into snow showers for the afternoon before it all tapers off. Tomorrow we're looking at cloudy skies, but here's where it gets a bit on the tricky side. If you go to Sunday, they're calling for PM rain and snow as temperatures begin to cool off. We go into the nighttime, and the National Weather Service says they're looking at a potential storm. Right now, they're looking at a mixture, beginning with a mixture of snow and rain Sunday afternoon. By Sunday night and overnight, they're watching what they're calling a potential storm. Right now, they're calling for 1 to 3 inches of snow, but it would be more if this develops into a snowstorm. And we're really talking about the commute. So Sunday night, Monday morning, into the Monday morning commute where things could get a little tricky, and there is a winter storm that is brewing. Whether or not we see it remains to be seen.
Well, I hope we don't get it. But,
And then
I hope up north gets it.
And then if you go even further into next week, they are talking about yet another potential storm. So have we reached a point where we're done with this warmer, mild winter weather? Are we going to go into a more active scene? I don't know.
Again, the coldest month of the year here is January, and February is very close to that. So obviously, even though we were a bit milder this winter than we were, eventually that catches up to you, and you do fall below the freezing line. Even if we're a little warmer than we are typically, we do eventually go below the freezing line, and the rain becomes snow or ice or whatever it might be. So.
Let's go through the delays that we have here this morning, here at 6:43, because there are plenty of them as it is sloppy out there.
Let me just begin with first, Richfield Springs is the only district we have closed. Okay, Richfield Springs Central School closed today. The following are on a 2-hour delay. Adirondack, Central Valley, Clinton Central, Dolgeville, Frankfort Schuyler, Herkimer Boces, again, all 2-hour delay. Herkimer Central, Holland Patton, Little Falls, Madison Boces, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Mount Markham, New Hartford Central, New York Mills, Notre Dame, Oppenheim Euphrates St. Johnsville, Owen D. Young, Poland, Remsen, 2-hour delay. Sequoia Valley, St. Francis and Herkimer, St. John the Evangelist Nursery School, morning classes canceled there. A 2-hour delay for West Canada Valley and Whitesboro as well.
I want to break quickly, and we'll come right back and talk about. I went down the David Crosby rabbit hole last night after it was announced that David Crosby has passed away at the age of 81. Crosby was a legend in really in music, and a legend in rock and roll music, and through the folk years, and just really is considered a genius, but tough to get along with. And has a very interesting story. And then he was with Joni Mitchell for a while. And in one of the interviews I was watching, he said, Joni and I don't get along anymore. And let's just say Joni doesn't get along with a lot of people. Okay, so that led me to go down in YouTube into the Joni Mitchell rabbit hole. And man, let me tell you, she is amazingly talented. And she is amazingly kooky. So I got into a lot of it, but we'll give you some David Crosby stuff and some other news worth digging into here this morning, a Friday, heading into the weekend. It's a busy day. We have a lot of stuff to get to. Coming up at WIBX.
At Riskin Garage, we'd like to thank our customers for voting us the best of the best destination for tires in the Utica area. Give your locally owned business an opportunity to meet or beat tire prices from the internet tire retailers or chain stores. For brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs, come and experience the best of the best service at a Riskin Garage down the street from Utica College or online at ogtire.com. Come on, say it with me. Make the noise. ogtire.com.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
We have many amateur meteorologists out there, and I've yet to hear what Richard is saying about this potential storm on Sunday night into Monday. But Rob says it is a winter storm on Sunday. The track right now is south and east of us, giving us lesser snowfall, but that could change. And by the way, Rob also says this morning that according to Drudge, David Crosby died of COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not realize that. On the line right now, he is the expert when it comes to movies, our man, Willie Waffle. Good morning.
Well, good morning. I hope everything's going well up there. And yeah, I'm also looking for that snow, man. I'm a little bit worried what my Sunday night's going to look like.
Well, are you right? Because is this a nor'easter they're talking about, or is another front coming across the country, across the Great Lakes? I think that's what it is.
I think that's what it is. All I know is I've got plans Sunday, and it better not snow. That's all I really care about.
All right. Well, at least here we're looking at the potential of mixed precipitation to start on Sunday. So it could be a little sloppy, and it could be a little sloppy down the Binghamton area as well. So, okay, Willie, first of all, Manansky took your advice.
Yep.
And here he is.
Okay, so I dove into Kaleidoscope, okay? And I have a couple questions, and then I have a comment. I want to see if you agree with me.
I'm not all the way through it
neither
yet,
am I.
so I have to be honest.
I've got two left, okay? So here's the first thing. People should know this going in, okay? It's about a heist. They're trying to rob something.
Yes.
You know that if you read the description. Okay, so what it does is it sends you the episodes to each, let's say, Netflix account. You get it in a different order. It's not like 1 through 9. It's might be 2, 5, 6, right? It goes all over.
I.e. the name Kaleidoscope.
Correct. But is the idea you watch the white episode the day of the heist? That's intended to come last. Is that correct?
That is always intended to be last.
Okay.
So the white episode, and every episode it has a color, and every episode has like that theme, that color theme playing through the episode visually, which I think is really awesome. So the white episode, yeah, the heist is the last episode for everybody. The idea being, as the other episodes are mixed up for different people, you get different perspectives. You know, some people think it's all about Giancarlo Esposito's character. Other people think it's all about, the FBI agent. And, and it really kind of informs how things can be a little bit different based on your perspective.
Yeah.
I'm down to the final, and as of last night, was down to the final 3 episodes, and I had gone online to find out if there is a designated final episode. And that was kind of what I gathered. But then, some of the episodes actually you watch before occur after the heist. So I was a little confused. My second,
I think this is a brilliant concept.
It really is. It is a little disorienting at times. It can be. But let me say this. One thing I did notice, and because they're covering a span of basically 25 years in 9 episodes, right? There is a lot. You kind of have to make a leap of faith.
If I can, in that 25 years, you might be, let's just say, you might be watching 80 to 85 and then go to 65 to 70.
Correct.
Right? Years.
You jump around. You'll jump
around
from 24 years before to 6 weeks before to 3 days after.
Flashbacks and flash forwards.
Correct.
Until you get to that final white episode, and then you watch it all.
Right. Here's the thing. There are some things where you have to kind of make a leap, if you will. There's one scene in particular, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but the FBI agent is following somebody.
Yes.
And the person she's following doesn't do anything wrong inside of an art gallery, yet she feels compelled to chase her and pull out her gun. And I thought, boy, that's quite a leap right there for somebody who hasn't committed a crime. But it's very entertaining. I'm glad you recommended it because I was in a bit of a lull this week, and it really was worth watching.
Oh, absolutely. And the FBI agent, just, not to get too deep into it, remember, this is not somebody who's totally under control, and she shows it in that moment.
100%. 100%.
Well, one thing I want to bring up, though, Willie, and I'd like your take on this. This could mean that when somebody says, like when somebody starts talking about something, like you guys just did, you said, well, be careful, I haven't seen the whole thing yet. So Manaski started talking, but there's a chance that he saw an episode that you haven't seen yet. It's not like you can say, I'm up to the 3rd episode.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, I can talk about this. This does pose the possibility that there's some spoiling going on.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the possibility with every Netflix series, right?
Yeah, right.
If you're
You're
not
right.
the person who sits there the opening day and gets out of bed at 3 a.m. when they drop it and watch it until, noon, you might have somebody seeing something ahead of your time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, hey, it happens with movies. It happens with everything now. I mean, that's the speed of the Internet. And I think the challenge for so many of us who just, don't want things spoiled. So we have to, go into hiding and not look at the Internet and not read anything for a couple of days till we get caught up. It's pathetic. You have to live out in the mountains in like a shack or something, like the Unabomber to avoid everything.
So just to put a bow on that, I was trying to figure out the final episode for sure. So I Googled Kaleidoscope last episode, and of course 6 different things come up, and 2 of them were spoilers. So you really have to get out of the way and not go looking.
All right, we're gonna have to watch this. Listen, I want to bring this up if I can, and then we'll get your stuff here, Willie. Thanks for getting Willie Waffle back. Miss and love him.
Ditto.
All right, and now we need Jay, the flight attendant. By the way, I don't know where he is.
I've tried to reach out, and I still have an unread message.
You're Willie. You're in the category of Jay, the flight attendant, apparently. So there you go. That's good.
That is esteemed company, my friends.
All right, let's talk about first of all, anything on David Crosby, because I'll move on.
No, I mean, it's sad. I mean, the guy had a wild, crazy life. I think, one of the greatest musicians of the rock era.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can deny that. And a guy who had a lot of trouble. I mean, guy was in jail for a time. I mean, this is somebody who really battled the drug demons and in some ways lost, in some ways finally overcame it.
That 90s show, a Netflix series, what's this?
Yeah, so this is the return of that 70s show that was so popular back in 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And they're trying to hang on to the nostalgia, I think, too much. The idea is that it's 1995, it's the summer of 1995. Kitty and Red, the parents are now retired, and everybody's out of the house until their granddaughter decides that she wants to spend the summer in Wisconsin with them and meet all the kids in the neighborhood. And they're really just relying, again, like I said, on the nostalgia. And in some ways, it's a lot of fun. They bring back a lot of the original characters in very surprising and very funny ways. And then when they try to focus in on the kids, you realize there's not a lot of good writing going on here. They're just, they're doing a very traditional sitcom-y kind of show without a lot of great material and not a lot of time to develop these characters all that great. I mean, I'm going 1.5 waffles. I've just been disappointed. You know what I really feel like? I feel like they're trying to take these kids, they're trying to make them 90s kids, but they're making them too modern, too Gen Z to really be a 90s show.
That's a good point. And, we've come to a point on Netflix to expect quality, right? There's a certain level that entertainment has been raised to. It's like TV used to be TV and movies were movies. Now, we expect movie quality on television.
Things were hit or miss. Netflix is like you expect a good show every time.
You know what I'm into right now is we're watching Madoff. That's our current series.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to tell you what happened, but all right. Spoiler alert, he went to jail. He went to jail.
and the Mets went bankrupt.
And we have been struggling ever since, although this might be the year where we're finally turning things around. Okay, Missing is the name of it, and it's in theaters right now.
Yeah, and this is kind of a cool idea. If you saw the movie Searching a few years ago, it's the same idea. She's this 18-year-old girl. She's supposed to pick up her mother at the airport after her mother goes on a trip to Colombia with her boyfriend, and she doesn't come back. And now she's going to play internet sleuth. And we watch her, going through the screens, using the electronic tools that we use today, right? She's going through the email. She's going through text messages. She's looking at bank accounts. She's hacking into video cameras around the hotel to see what happened to her mother. And it's a really cool visual thing. I just think the mystery needs to be a little bit deeper. They need to kind of make it a little bit more interesting because visually it's cool, but, you've got to kind of live up to the rest of it. I'm going to go 2 waffles. I think it's a decent film.
Okay. So there are some inspirations out there to get you back into a movie theater.
Yeah, I think, we're slowly getting there. I mean, you still have the big movies, and that's what movie theaters are going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
It's going to be the big movies. It's going to be the Avatars. It's going to be the Top Guns. And then stuff like Missing, might do okay. Horror movies seem to be doing well. That Megan horror movie that came out a few weeks ago was a big smash hit. They're going to make a sequel now. So it really kind of, and I'll be honest with you, I think what it really comes down to is what are younger people going to go to because they're the ones who want to go to theaters now.
Comment here from Mike. The concept of kaleidoscope is very similar to the Kurt Vonnegut book, Slaughterhouse-Five. He wrote the book, took the separate chapters, and threw them on the floor, mixing them up. He picked them up, and that is how the book was put together. Very interesting.
Hey, if you're going to steal from somebody, steal from the best, man.
I agree. Willie, we appreciate it. Are you a Bills fan? If so, go Bills.
I am a tertiary Bills fan. I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But I like the Bills. I like Josh Allen. I'm really hoping they get through I hope they win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay. The Bills succeeding and the Giants succeeding would be great for local business, right? The bars will all be filled and all that
that'd be
stuff.
wild.
Yeah. Willie, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week. Thank you.
Later, man.
Hey, you got it. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
It's halftime. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, exactly 2 years into President Biden's term. And right now, the big focus is on the classified documents found at his home and at an old office from his time as vice president.
Filed in the wrong place. We immediately turned them over to the archives of the Justice Department. We're fully cooperating and looking forward to getting this resolved quickly.
The president says it bugs him. Reporters kept asking about it while he was in California surveying recent storm damage. He says he has no regrets and there's nothing to it. House Republicans want visitor logs for the Biden residence. The Secret Service says it can provide some. Congressman Jim Jordan tells Fox.
I still don't know the answer to why they were looking in the first place. What prompted them to go look on November 2nd?
When the documents were first found. A gunman went into a Walmart last night in Evansville, Indiana. Police went in after him.
Suspect has been shot and is deceased.
Evansville Sergeant Anna Gray, another person was shot and injured. Alec Baldwin's lawyers call it a miscarriage of justice. Involuntary manslaughter charges in the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the set of the movie Rust. He claims he never pulled the trigger of the prop gun supposed to be loaded with blanks.
Alec Baldwin, he is an A-list actor, and there's a lot of, hype around all that, but he isn't above the law.
Special New Mexico prosecutor Andrea Reeb will also charge the armorer on the set in charge of weapons with involuntary manslaughter. More big layoffs in big tech amid recession fears, this time at Google. The CEO told employees in an email this morning they need to cut about 12,000 jobs, adding to the pink slips going out at Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft. A rock star has fallen. David Crosby dead at age 81.
Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud.
He founded Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Sometimes Young, and the Byrds. Crosby sometimes sparred with his bandmates, had drug and legal issues, but he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice for both of those bands. America's listening to Fox News.
Inflation is nothing more than a legal form of theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you still can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word PROTECT to 989898, and my friends from Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust, so text PROTECT to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Still raining and 34 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's Mega 4-Day Sale. It's going on now. Queen mattresses from $199. Sofa and love seat sets from $799. Bedroom sets from $599. Shop My Carl's today in the New Hartford Shopping Center or Destiny USA. A Central New York senator preparing to get a first-hand look at crime and other issues facing local law enforcement. State Senator Joe Griffo is planning ride-alongs with multiple police agencies, starting with State Police in Herkimer. He also has plans to join Utica Police, Rome Police, and the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Additionally, the senator has written Governor Kathy Hochul pitching a plan to invest $300 million to bolster public safety across the state. That money would be allocated over 3 years at $100 million each year. From there, it breaks down to an 80-20 split, the larger portion paying for the salaries of added police officers and the rest going toward equipment. More on that story on our website at WIBX950.com. A controversy brewing at a Central New York brewery. The issue was highlighted in a recent New York Post article where some leaders of the Buddhist and Hindu religions say they take exception to use of the word nirvana. That's the name of an IPA made by Cooperstown's Omegang Brewery. In response to that criticism, the Omegang Brewery released a statement to WIBX 950 saying they never intended to disrespect any community. They explain why they named the beer Nirvana, and they also say they are giving consideration to a name change. More on that story at WIBX950.com, or you can send your comments to us right now via the WIBX 950 app. The National Weather Service is warning that upstate New York could be facing not one but two winter storms next week. Still too early to tell, but meteorologists say the conditions are right for snow. Currently, the National Weather Service says they're watching a storm front that could affect the greater Utica region and Mohawk Valley Sunday night into Monday. A GoFundMe now established to help out the family of the 11-year-old Syracuse girl who was tragically shot to death earlier this week. Brexley Torres Ortiz that's who the fundraiser has been created for. She was shot to death Monday. The fundraiser created by staff at Syracuse STEM, where she was a student. To contribute, just head to GoFundMe.com and search Brexy's Legacy. That's Brexi, Brexy's Legacy. So far, no one has been charged in connection with that shooting. The American Red Cross offering blood donors a chance to win Super Bowl 57 tickets. You can watch the game in person. All you have to do is give blood for your chance to win. Anyone who donates through January 31st will be automatically entered to win round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, tickets to see the game, and a $500 gift card for additional expenses. Of course, the Super Bowl is set for Sunday, February 12th. An appointment to donate can be set up by simply visiting redcrossblood.org. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for continued rain showers, then some mixed precipitation later in the day today. We have rain showers before 1 p.m., then a chance of rain and snow after that, a high today of 37. Chance of snow showers tonight, mainly before 10 p.m., then cloudy skies, an overnight low of 26. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a high of 33. Sunday, a chance of snow after 1 p.m., mixing with some rain possibly as well. And then maybe back over to snow showers for the overnight. Again, forecasters keeping an eye on a possible storm Sunday night into Monday. Sunday's high will be 37. Bill, right now, still raining and 35 degrees. It is 7:07.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, here we go. The Bills and Bengals are fighting for a spot in the AFC Championship game when both sides clash in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs on Sunday. The Bills, and this is the game this is a highly anticipated game.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about the whole DeMar Hamlin. All of this came out of these two teams going at it.
Yeah.
And the Bengals, by the way, had a 7-3 lead on the Bills when the game came to an end. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. The Bills advanced after squeaking by AFC East rival Miami, 34-31. Josh Allen will hope to protect the ball better after throwing 2 interceptions and losing a fumble. Meanwhile, the team is getting a boost as DeMar Hamlin is spending more time at their facility. And then on the other side, Cincinnati moved on after dispatching the AFC North rival Baltimore Ravens 24-17. That also was a very close game.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a good game.
I hope so. I said it the day after the Hamlin incident. It was a Monday night game. So many times you get let down on these primetime games. They're not what they're cracked up to be. And sure enough, Cincinnati came out, opened the game, marched right down and got a touchdown. Buffalo got the ball, marched right down the field, settled for a field goal. And then Cincinnati was on its way back. It really had all the makings for that big back and forth heavyweight,
much
blow
like
for blow.
The Bills Kansas City game last year. I really felt like we were going to be looking at that.
So excited, but
well, now we're going to find out. And it's for all the marbles here. It's win.
Well, it's for a few of the marbles.
Win or go home, which is kind of what I mean by that. The Bruins' winning streak is up to 4 games after Boston topped the Rangers 3-1 at Madison Square Garden. What else do I have? The Sabres snapped their 2-game skid with a 3-2 victory over the New York Islanders. Is there another one in there? The Devils were unable to extend their winning streak to 6 games after falling 4-3 in overtime to Kraken in Seattle. Notre Dame will be getting a new head basketball coach. Head coach Mike Bray plans to step down at the end of the season. And tomorrow, let's see, we have a lot going on this weekend. The Pioneers men's hockey team will be on the road, Lebanon Valley, tonight and tomorrow night on the road. Utica City FC on the road this weekend. And the Comets will be at home hosting Syracuse tonight at the ABC. And they'll be at the War Memorial tomorrow in Syracuse. And I think that's everything. Did I mention Syracuse tomorrow afternoon at noon? We'll be playing, who are they playing?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
And the only other thing I'll throw in, I forgot to mention it, was all 4 playoff games this weekend. You can catch them on television, of course, but your radio home is WIBX 950. So if you're out and about, certainly tune us in and check out the action.
We were having mugs made, and I was looking at the logo, and the logo didn't have the FM frequency on there.
Oh.
So I caught that. You didn't mention 106.9. That's why I was thinking about that.
Sorry, yeah.
He's a piece of... Can't even believe you do that. That's what we normally get, Phil, when we don't do things properly here. Good morning, Phil Selman, comedian at Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. Good morning.
Good morning. As we say around here, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
I was watching, if you could get really tight on that mic. Here, hold on, I'll get you one of those.
Well, nobody's been in here. Now that you're going through this step of disinfecting, he's going to be worried.
I'm
not worried. I don't care.
He's going to be nervous. He's going, who was in here breathing on this mic?
I'm not worried.
I don't know. The person who used the mic last had scabies. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Did not.
That's all right. That's fine.
Their lip was literally bleeding. It was awful. It was so disgusting.
He's like, it's fine. I don't care. It's okay. It's fine.
I've been doing comedy for a long time. That doesn't faze me.
You're right. It's a very good point.
That thing does not faze me.
Yeah, because that microphone in every comedy club.
I know Artie Fletcher. Nothing phases me. Nothing phases me.
Artie Fletcher.
I created Artie Fletcher.
A blast for you. You created. I didn't realize.
Very sorry to say that. Yes.
I didn't realize this, but you created Davey. I don't know who's on one. If you can take care of that.
Scott from Kirk.
All right, I'll take him. I'm going to take him in a second.
What's on second?
So I was watching some. I went down last night. I went down the David Crosby rabbit hole on YouTube. The night before, I went down the Phil Selman rabbit hole, and a lot of stuff on. I didn't realize you created a lot of comedians.
Yes, I did.
And that was you brought a lot of.
I was talking in the car. I guess Adam Sandler. You went to go see Adam Sandler at Turnings.
Yes, yeah.
I gave him his first.
You did.
He named it in 8 Crazy Nights of Hanukkah, Mrs. Selman, the 8-breasted woman, as an homage to me.
That is wild. That is
that
so
how
cool.
you return the favor, disrespecting
I've
your
been
mother?
trying to get to that guy now for like many. I sent him a card. I sent him a congratulatory card to his address in Pacific Palisades, because you can find anybody's address these days. And I said, I never had a chance to congratulate you on your massive success. And also, he had a hip replacement. I said, I hope your hip is healing.
And he responds.
No, he didn't. I put a card in there.
Yeah.
I'll get to him if it's the last thing I do.
Right. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And then I'm going through and watching the one of your YouTube performances. It was one of your interview segments, and it was like, I hate doing radio. I do this because I hate doing radio, and I understand that.
I've grown to because I go on the Jim and Sam show on satellite radio.
Yes.
I'm going on there again next week.
I think if you can get on the right shows, it's okay.
It's okay. I probably should have maybe pursued a little more. So
I don't take any offense to it, because I also hate radio. Most radio people are very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I had that discussion with you upstate. There are guys that naming them cities, but Albany, Rochester. Guys who are not nice people.
That are not nice people to do radio with. That are just like, you sit in your place, that's where you belong, and I'm the funny one on the show.
And I learned that radio is cutthroat. It's cutthroat. Radio is really cutthroat.
It really is.
More so, even so than the comedy, I think.
I think it is, because I think there's I don't know, a brotherhood a little bit in comedy you can have.
There's no brotherhood in comedy.
Adam Sandler proved that when he screwed you over.
Adam
and made it
Sandler,
big.
Chris Rock, Ray Romano. I can name keep rifling off the names there, people.
Well, and Artie Fletcher was a really, really unique comedian. He would come up here often and actually wanted to come back up. But sometimes Artie would tell a joke, and it's so interesting to watch. I feel it's brilliantly interesting when you analyze a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really looking at it and you're like, Artie just told a joke. He delivered it perfectly, but the joke doesn't make any sense. But the audience went with it, completely laughing hysterically. And if you ever were to poll the audience and say, what were you laughing at? They wouldn't understand.
Must have them hypnotized.
He does. I love him, though. All right, Phil Selman is in through the morning, and we appreciate it. I know you probably haven't even been to bed, for God's sakes.
Slept for about an hour and a half.
I want to pipe in. You brought up the Alec Baldwin thing.
Well, we were in a break, and I didn't know if we would.
I have a history with Alec Baldwin also.
You do.
Yes,
is it positive or negative?
It's not. It's not. It's in between. It's
Do
like
you like
it's
Alec
neutral. I don't. He was. It's funny because there was a comedian named Gary Laser. And he was roommates with Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Like a million years ago. They lived in Nutley, New Jersey, right off the Garden State Parkway.
Uh-huh.
And I would call to talk when I had to speak to the comedian, and he would answer the phone, and he would have a real attitude.
Alec would.
And I would say, why is he such a... And when he answered the phone, I go, Alec, why are you such a a DB there or whatever? He just... And I sent him a message on Facebook, and he remembered. Because he remembered. He was on the Doctors. That was the first thing he did.
That's right.
When he first began, he was on the Doctors.
The
soap opera. Yeah. And then he went from that to Knots Landing, but that was around that time when he was just getting.
You know, his family's his mother moved up to Syracuse, so they're all they spent a lot of time in Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
One time, he was in Utica for a wedding. His brother Billy was in Utica for a wedding, and this was just before I had moved to Providence, and he dropped his passport.
Mm-hmm.
And a listener brought it to me, and there was somebody who was like this huge Billy Baldwin fan, so we held the passports hostage.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to leave the country, and I said, all you got to do is give an autographed picture to this girl, and I'll give you your passport back. Ultimately, the police came, and I gave the passport back.
Okay.
So. Never gave the autograph, though, that piece of garbage.
Not surprising. They're not. They're not the nicest.
But did you any other experience with him? Do you think he should have been charged with manslaughter?
He did. I mean, it was an accident, right?
Which is what manslaughter is, right?
Look, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Alec Baldwin. I really don't agree with him politically, and I'll just leave it at that. I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, well, he deserves it. Look, he's an actor on the set of a movie. Somebody hands him a gun, and he's told, your character shoots this character, so you pull the trigger.
And he's practicing.
I mean, wouldn't that be a great way to set somebody up for murder? Be a movie producer and say, "Hey,
there's been was it
Bruce Lee's kid?
Bruce Lee,
yes,
right?
Brandon Lee
right.
died the same way. Yeah. Look, I can't believe that he's facing criminal charges for this. It's unbelievable. Look, if he was in a scene of a movie and his character, let's say, rapes another character, is he going to be charged with sexual assault?
Well, if he really sexually assaults them.
Well, right, but again. He would be
that
doing.
Would be, yeah, but it depends if the weapon was loaded.
Hold on though. He would be doing things in the scene, like maybe pushing her against a wall, or holding her on without actually raping her. Where you would say, well, look, that could be I'm baffled. I'm outraged that he's charged with manslaughter.
Well, I'm not comfortable with a rape analogy. I do think that he expected that to be a blank. And why would you think there'd be a real bullet in there? And others will say, well, whenever you have a gun, you have to follow proper gun procedures and safety procedures.
Sure.
But you're on a set for a movie. You're trusting the people that handed you the gun.
Correct.
I think this is bad. And I got to tell you, conservatives and Second Amendment rights people should be very careful here, because the people that are going after Alec Baldwin here are the people that are also going after your Second Amendment rights. Believe me, I saw the prosecutor last night talking about this on the news. She totally hates guns and feels that this is just the beginning of teaching everyone that, maybe we shouldn't have guns and we maybe shouldn't have them in movies. I don't think they should be using real guns, right?
Correct.
But
how is there not a prop on the scene?
I'm
you
just
can
saying,
make a
be
dinosaur
careful.
out of a magic cloud.
Yeah.
Yep. We have to have a real gun on the set of a movie. I don't know why they can't use a prop one. Yeah. And the other point is on the gun safety measure, I could see the person who handed him the gun or loaded the gun, them being charged with manslaughter.
It was a she, and she has been charged with manslaughter.
Oh, she has as well.
Yep, but I don't think
I could see that.
The armorer. I think they call that
the
person.
armorer.
Yeah, they said she wasn't necessarily really qualified because it was a low budget movie, and he was producing the movie. Also, Alec Baldwin.
Well, and in a
he's the producer now.
Well, but
he's the producer. He's always been. Yeah, he was always the producer of that movie.
But now I can see the family suing over that because he's. But as for him being charged with manslaughter, I don't agree with that. Just my take on it. See what everybody else thinks. Scott is in Kirkville. Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
Morning, guys. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Good to hear from you, man.
Getting all set for the big game. Actually, it was funny because you guys are talking demographics, knowing your audience. And originally when I started listening to the Bill Keeler show, I thought most of the audience that demographically happen to be at Bally's in their first cup of coffee that listen to Bill. But I've come to the conclusion that that's not the case. But,
that is true. I didn't follow that, but you're absolutely correct. I'll tell you, Scott is a wannabe comedian.
Okay.
And oftentimes will tell jokes. Scott sometimes will get a rim shot when it's successthough, but oftentimes it's not successful.
Swing and a miss.
Like I said, I was the Gary Sanchez of comedy. Even though I'm going to strike out, I'm going to swing for the fences and stuff.
Okay, all right. What do you think on this week's games, man?
It's interesting because unfortunately, what happened in the Mondays, the Monday game, it looked like Cincinnati was gonna, kind of at least offensively dominate Buffalo. I mean, they went right down the field and scored. The ball was at midfield when all, the tragedy happened.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like Buffalo had any answers for their offense. And you don't know, if Cincinnati's going to keep the same game plan what they had a couple of weeks ago. Now they're playing on the road. They've lost a couple offensive linemen since then. I think Buffalo, it was interesting against Miami is that they went back to the old bases where they were trying to hit a lot of deep passes, which if you look at this year, maybe because Allen's elbow was kind of banged up because of what happened in the Jets game, that they couldn't throw deep, but it kind of reminded me of last year's offense, and they were hitting and missing. They had a couple interceptions down the field, and this could be a heck of a game. I would keep an eye on, I always look at like fringe players because everybody kind of tried to take away the top players, and sometimes it could be a fringe player that's going to win the game. But keep an eye for Buffalo Shakira. He had a drop that they called a catch first, and he had a deep pass. But the guy's out of Boise State, and he's fast. And I think he's going to be isolated on linebackers and safeties, and they take away Diggs and Gabriel. That you think that he's going to be open, and the way this game should develop, this could be one of a classic, I think.
Okay. Well, listen, I did feel the same way. I mean, obviously the Bengals marched down and they scored. The Bills marched down and they had to kick a field goal. So initially, however, Buffalo is that type of team and has been that team this year, where they may get off to a bit of a shaky start, and then all of a sudden. The thing that you got to worry about with Buffalo, in my opinion, is that Josh Allen and the Bills find ways to win games, albeit not the most pretty thing you've ever seen in your life. That is, and I know that didn't happen with Kansas City last year, but that is the Buffalo that I think you're going to see this year. We'll see.
And then, Scott, if I could just say one thing, Shakira is the singer-songwriter from Colombia. Hips Don't Lie, that song. Shakir is the wide receiver for Buffalo.
Yeah. Okay, Scott, man, good to hear from you.
Good, you guys. Good luck now.
And you know that they're doing a big tailgate party coming up next Sunday at the Waterfront Grill. You should come down for that.
Yes, you should.
Excellent.
All right, maybe we'll be there. Maybe we'll see you.
Ed and Alien just sent a message wanting to know more about the menu. Now, I told him it's your hamburger, hot dog, tailgate
The menu on Sunday?
Yes, but maybe you would know more.
It's sausage and peppers. It's hamburgers, hot dogs. It's all of that tailgate stuff that you would expect. And that all comes with your ticket, right, Davey? It's a good deal.
I even may make an appearance.
Yeah, Davey will make an appearance.
Autographs as well. And that's next Sunday, not this Sunday.
Not this Sunday, next Sunday. Tom is in Utica. Hi, Tom, on Alec Baldwin.
Hi, every single individual who takes an NRA pistol course is taught that there's basically no such thing as an unloaded gun, and that every gun is to be handled as though it were loaded.
I know. This is the argument that I have heard, and I understand that.
Even when the instructor hands you a rubber gun that's blue rubber, if you act like that's a toy, he'll chop your points.
I get that, but you're making a movie where everything is fake.
That's right.
That's different to me.
My take is, number one, and I also wanted to mention that there was a rash of incidents a while back where people were caught putting ammunition into guns at gun shows, picking up the guns and the guns that were for sale, just sliding them in and going off, hoping to have somebody do a snapshot and kill somebody, real miscreants. My take on this is, number one, that somebody did that, and that the armorer who handed that gun to Baldwin is the main figure at fault, because they are professionals and they're supposed to check everything.
Well,
now, Baldwin's an actor. He's got his mind on acting and not on gun safety. His culpability, no matter what is adjudicated, is much less than that armorer. That's who they ought to go after, like
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. And the other thing is the prosecutor said there's no way. Baldwin is saying he didn't pull the trigger. The gun misfired. And she's saying there's no way that could happen. Now I got to tell you, there was a lawsuit against Remington a while back because they had a faulty trigger of some sort, and guns were misfiring. Their shotguns were misfiring. So I mean, it's something that can happen. But they say the FBI looked at the gun, said there was nothing wrong with it. It didn't happen.
Baldwin's thinking that he's all set.
Yeah.
You know, he has this incident go off. This damn gun goes blam in his hands, and somebody falls down. That's going to have an effect on his memory. That's going to have a traumatic effect on his memory. So, you know, maybe he didn't think he did. Maybe it was a hair trigger. Maybe somebody really rigged that gun up so much that they put a hair trigger, that they adjusted the trigger to a point where it was a hair trigger instead of a normal trigger pull.
Well, that's possible.
Absolutely. If somebody's going to go to that much trouble,
why is there a real bullet in the gun?
To rig up an incident like that, they can do anything. So, I would say the armorer is definitely the number one in culpability. With Baldwin, you know, a poor sap that just happened to be holding the gun that did go off.
Maybe a civil lawsuit would be appropriate, but I don't know.
Yeah,
all right.
let's shake it all down and see what happens.
Okay.
But that's my take, and I got a pretty good view on what cooks with these things.
All right, Tom.
Thanks
thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you, man.
Bye.
I could see, especially with him being the producer of the lawsuit, that would make sense to me. But again, you know, I gave an analogy you didn't love earlier.
I think I didn't love the raping analogy, but I do think that just based on the way that he treated Phil, I think he should be charged with murder. Right?
Of course he should. Of course he should.
Screw that piece of garbage.
Him, Marty Fletcher, and Adam Sandler. They should all be charged.
I'm with you.
They should all go.
There we go.
Everybody who didn't help me should go.
I think
let them all go.
That's the true American way of thinking.
They all need to go.
Let me break. We'll come back. Hold tight. Friday morning, Phil Selman in studio. You want to? We'll give away some tickets, Davey, coming up for tonight and tomorrow night. Go to Fat Katz, comedyclub.com for details. 727 at WIBX.
Hi, this is Frank with Northland Trailers located on River Road in Marcy. At Northland, we offer a full line of utility, snowmobile, enclosed, dump, and equipment trailers. We can also custom design a trailer to meet your specific needs. In addition to trailers, we have a full parts showroom, and we service what we sell. Our family business is proud to have been serving our community for over 4 decades. Northland Trailers is located right outside the city of Utica. So swing on down and let's talk towing.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools ready to learn, destined to lead.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with AutoPay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and includes 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed. and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, let me go to the lines right now. Marianne Buttonshaw is the Assemblywoman standing by right now. We're going to talk to Joe Griffo in a few minutes. Joe is dealing with public safety, and we'll be doing a little ride-along in police vehicles. Marianne has an interesting proposal on how to deal with this bail reform problem. Marianne Buttonshaw, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What are you proposing here?
Well, I have clearly a bill that provides the opportunity that should occur for judges to determine if there's dangerousness with the defendant that's in front of them. So again, if it's been deemed they're dangerous to society, to the community, then clearly they could be held.
Could that even be like a guy makes a threat against his ex-wife, and he threatened to kill her, and he ends up going before the judge, and they let him go, give him an appearance ticket. But in this case, you might be able to hold him because he poses a potential danger not to the general public, but to a specific person. Would that be included?
So there's another bill I have that relates to any domestic violence case. So that would be similar to that. But,
that would be in that.
Yes. And again, it looks at the intent. It looks at the importance of, does the individual need help? Are we talking about an individual that has the mental health condition that needs to be addressed? So this process is something that talks clearly about using a mental health evaluation that is determined at the time of arraignment. It talks about community safety, the well-being of all residents. So clearly we've heard many situations that the DA has brought forward in regards to an individual that maybe is not even from this area. And I think that if we reflect on the importance of bail is the sole purpose to ensure that someone returns to court. And this is an excellent example when there is a dangerous situation. They are not from this area. It's clearly determined that they have no reason to be in this area. Then why would they return to court?
Yeah.
So,
okay. The problem with all of this is really bail. That's what bail is supposed to be for, to ensure that someone returns to court. But if we're then putting no bail on someone, so you're put in jail without bail because you're a danger to society, that becomes a whole different thing. That's where the whole bail reform came from in the first place.
And it's not necessarily, Merritt, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not necessarily no bail. It's that they can set a bail amount. And in that case, maybe you have a family member who's put their house up. Now they have an interest in making sure this person isn't burning buildings down or running around stabbing people randomly. You kind of got other people who are, I don't know, keeping an eye on. I don't know that that's the intent of the bill, but I know that's one thing that happens as part of it.
Well, prior to bail reform, dangerousness could not be considered by a judge in the state of New York.
Right.
But to your point, Bill, that possibly it was, so this would clarify that it could be.
Okay.
So there are states that do have dangerousness, and then there is not. When we look at what needs to be done, we can't have individuals not feeling safe.
Fair enough,
when the conversation is stated that possibly these situations occurring within the community, and then we find that as they appear in court, a judge says, I'm sorry, I can't do anything. It's not what we want to hear. We want to hear that the judge can be a judge, and that's what judges are supposed to do.
I'll throw one more thing out at you, and then we'll let you go. But, initially, part of this whole thing for the people who wanted bail reform, it was because they said that people that were charged with something that didn't have the means, they didn't have money, they're winding up stuck because they can't post the bail. Whereas people who have the means, people who are have more money or are even wealthy, they could easily post bail. So it really was discriminating against those who didn't have money. How is this any different?
Well, I think, again, more importantly, it's just looking at the safety of the community. So whether you have money or you don't have money, then the bail would be set.
Right, but the point is, if the bail is set and you can easily post the bail, you're out anyway.
But this brings in the factor of dangerousness.
Okay.
It doesn't look at how much money you have in your wallet. It has, was this matter of a danger to the community?
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Marianne. We appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see where this goes.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And I think the point you were trying to
make
is...
the point I'm making is the people who are pro-bail reform are not going to agree with this because it still doesn't solve the problem of... Now, if you went with somebody based on... If this had no bail, we can hold... Because of public safety, we'll get you a speedy trial, but because of public safety, we can hold you without bail. I don't know how that winds up constitutionally. However... That would solve the problem of whether you're wealthy, whether you have the means, or you're poor.
So that basically you're held regardless.
You're going to be held because otherwise you could be maniacal, some deviant who's going to go out there and stab people, and as long as you have enough money to post bail, you're going to be maniacal and devious and go out and stab people.
Right. So, and your point about the money is, let's say somebody's very well financially off. They set the bail at $10,000. They just pay it and they get right out.
Correct.
So what was the point of
And that's one of the issues for these downstate Democrats for bail reform. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Is that we're not solving the problem by just initiating bail all over again because the poor guy sits in jail because he can't post the bail, and the person of means gets out anyway. Well, it's the exact reason why they wanted this in the first place.
Your point is very valid. I do feel, though, like some of the downstate folks won't budge on this. This is an effort to try to make some headway there.
Yeah.
Because you can't have people, I mean, we saw it in this community.
Something's
Someone running around
done.
burning down buildings, and then you take their picture, a fingerprint, and then they're on their way?
It's crazy.
It can't be allowed.
Quick news, 737 Manaski, WIBX.
There we go.
Quick news.
We've got a few snow showers right now, 34 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:38. We'll be talking to him in just a few minutes. State Senator Joe Griffo making a proposal in regard to public safety as well. He's planning ride-alongs with several area police agencies, beginning with State Police in Herkimer. The Rome Republican also scheduling ride-alongs with UPD, Rome PD, and the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Also, Griffo has written a letter to Governor Kathy Hochul pitching a plan to invest $300 million to bolster public safety. That would break down to $100 million a year over 3 years. He says from there the money would be used to add new police officers and purchase additional equipment. The National Weather Service warning upstate New York could face not one but two winter storms next week. Still too early to tell for sure, but meteorologists say the conditions are setting up for a possible snowstorm. Currently, the Weather Service says they're watching a storm front that could affect the greater Utica region and Mohawk Valley Sunday night into Monday. A GoFundMe now set up for the family of an 11-year-old girl who was tragically gunned down in Syracuse this week. On Monday, Brexley Torres Ortiz was hit by a bullet. There was a 19-year-old man who police believe was the target of a drive-by shooting. He was struck on the leg. The 11-year-old girl who was walking home from the store where she purchased a gallon of milk was hit in the stomach area. She was rushed to a hospital but later died. You can find more info and contribute to that GoFundMe at GoFundMe.com and search for Brexy's Legacy, BREXI, Brexy's Legacy. The American Red Cross offering blood donors a chance to watch Super Bowl 57 in person next month. All you have to do is give the gift of life. Anyone who donates blood until January 31st will be automatically entered to win round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to the big game, which happens on Sunday, February 12th. Additionally, you'll get a $500 gift card for any extra expenses. Just book an appointment at redcrossblood.org. Make your appointment, and you must give before January 31st. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for the rain-snow mix to continue this morning. Here in Marcy, we have changed over to snow showers, still 35 degrees. That'll continue to this afternoon. Chance of snow showers later in the afternoon, a high of 37 today. Tonight, again, chance of snow mainly before 10 p.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. Cloudy skies for your Saturday, a high of 33. Sunday, a chance of snow before 1 p.m., then a rain-snow mix possible later in the day. Sunday's high, 37. Raining, 34 at 7:40.
All right, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. Then we'll talk to Joe Griffo, Phil Selman in studio, Fat Cat's comedian this weekend for shows Friday night and Saturday night. Let's do, we'll give away some tickets here, too. Davey, caller number what do you want to go with?
5.
Fifth caller through the lines, 315-736-0186. Caller 5 gets a chance at some cash, tickets, and more. Fifth caller, 315-736-0186 right now.
How do you sum up 70 years in 30 seconds? The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties has helped nonprofit groups put more than $110 million donor dollars to work over the last 7 decades. Programs, services, people, places, progress. Our 30 seconds are about up, but we're just getting started. Learn more at foundationhoc.org and help us work toward a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
Steet Pawnee Chevy wants to make it easy to get you into a new car in the new year. That's why you'll find a huge selection of 2023s in stock and incredible lease deals. Test drive our 2023 Chevy Equinox LS all-wheel drive with convenience package, 27 months, 10,000 miles per year lease for only $397 a month. Or how about our 2023 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab LT, four-wheel drive all-star edition, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Lease it for just $497 a month. Steet Pawnee Chevrolet. Find new roads at your locally owned and operated dealership, Route 28 in Herkimer, or online at steetpawneechevy.com. See why it's always easy to do business at Steet Pawnee Chevrolet. Customer must qualify top-tier credit with GM Financial. 25 cents per mile mileage penalty over 30,000 miles. $1,000 down plus all taxes, fees, first payment due on delivery. Must have current GM lease and household and take delivery by 1/31/2023.
If you are considering apartment living, you should explore Pounder Hall in Oriskany. Enjoy affordable apartment living in an elegant setting with social events, year-round activities, 3 meals per day, housekeeping services, and daily transportation. If you're ready or just thinking about the advantage of no more maintenance, taxes, and the responsibility of homeownership, but still want to live life to its fullest, Pounder Hall is here for you. The doors to the Eastern Star campus are always open to you and your family. For details, call 315-736-1759.
I'm Rocky Fiato from the Waterfront Grill.
And I'm Mark Butler. Rock, I'm curious. Were you ever a part of the in crowd?
Well, back in school, my group was always in.
Yeah, in trouble.
But this time, I'll really be part of the in crowd from 1 to 5 on Sunday, January 29th at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer for our annual tailgate party for charity.
Really? Well, let me in on the details.
Again, we'll have a buffet, raffle, prizes, music, and NFL championship games on our TVs. And admission is just $25.
This year, Rock, Barb, and I will be raising funds for the Herkimer County Hunger Coalition, the County Humane Society, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace, a local nonprofit that builds and donates beds for children who otherwise would have no bedding of their own. And that's the real in place for these kids to be, in a safe, warm, comfortable bed.
Indubitably.
Rock, I got to throw the challenge flag on that word. That's Sunday, January 29th at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer. Sponsored by WIBX and the Keeler in the Morning Show. You know, the little short guy.
Indubitably.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, it is snowing out now, and it's supposed to turn to snow as the day goes on. We have some delays out there, and we'll get into the school delays coming up in a second. Just a little sloppy, another sloppy day out there.
So I think what I did was I started the forecast by saying the rain has changed to snow, and then at the end I said it's raining in 34.
And it's snowing, yeah. Okay, Griffo coming up in a second. Gary is in Rome. Hello, Gary. Good morning. Do I have the right one here? Gary, can you hear me? Maybe that's... hello, Gary. Good morning. Okay, I don't know who's what, Davey. Nobody's answering me. Why is no one answering? I don't know. I got that. I got this. I got that. Everything's good.
Who's on first? What's on second?
You got him there? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, Gary,
all those
we
on our
lost you.
phone lines have completely gone dead. I look at them. They're there, but they're not. Who? What do you have for me?
The senator is on 2.
Okay, but Gary, we've lost. Let's see. Is that you, Gary?
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
All right, Gary. Hold on. Here we go.
What the hell's going on here? Can't
Sorry
stand
about
this
that.
crap.
Got
We're
cut off.
working with Tonka. That's the brand name of all of our equipment here. Tonka and Play School. Mr. Microphone, that's how I'm talking to you right now. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Here we go, Gary. Here's your question, and you know you have 7 seconds to answer and get it in. If you need to guess, do what you need to do. Here we go. This is your question. This public figure and his wife named their son Django, spelled D-J-A-N-G-O. Who is the public figure? Ready? Go.
Should have been listening earlier.
Now just throw out a name that's in the news.
Alec Baldwin's got to be, right?
It is David Crosby's kid's name is Django. Yeah, Django.
Really?
Come here, Django. Who else would name their kid
Alec
Django?
Baldwin. And the movie came out, 10 years ago?
Actually, the only reason Alec Baldwin would name his kid Django is because they ran out of names. They've got like 12 kids or something.
Him and Nick Cannon are in a competition.
That's exactly right. Every time you turn around, Baldwin's got another kid coming out. So.
Right.
Okay, we're going to give you, I have a few things. I'll give you a table for 6. You pick your show this weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Davey will work that out with you. We have the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card, $25 good at Aquavino, which, by the way, is having the grand opening in, I'm sorry. They're having a soft opening tonight. They'll be grand opening, ribbon cutting is Monday in New Hartford at the old Outback. Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center or at what's the name of the not Netflix, it's Nexus.
Nexus, I'm sorry.
All right. I'll get through this, Gary. You stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Have a great weekend. Be safe out there as this is crazy weather. Django is the name of David Crosby's kid.
Interesting. And John in Rome messaging in today. I didn't know this, but you guys did. David Crosby was the sperm donor to Melissa Etheridge, which helped give her 2 kids.
And there's also a bad story about one of those kids, right?
Yeah, I think one of them died of an overdose. I believe.
And isn't it? You wonder, like,
with the genes and
right.
with Django, I hate to know the name of the one who died.
Yeah.
What was that one's name?
I don't know.
The Wrecking Ball.
Oh boy!
Here comes the Wrecking Ball Etheridge.
We're trying to deal with crime in Central New York, and this bail reform has really caused a whole bunch of trouble. Senator Joe Griffo is on the line right now. Joe, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff, and good morning, Bill.
And what do you? So you're going to be riding around in police cars coming up.
So yeah, we have made a proposal to the governor, something that we had discussed last year too, which is similar to the federal cops program, which began under former President Bill Clinton, which was very effective. And essentially, we're asking the governor to consider in her budget proposal a $300 million commitment over 3 years, $100 million a year, to be split 80% with recruiting and retaining current police officers, and then another 20% going towards resources that many of these departments need in order to continue to effectively undertake their responsibilities. So that is the commitment, and what I'm going to do as a result of that also is I want to ensure, and I've done this in the past in my role as mayor and county executive, want to ride along in the area that I represent to get another and more a better idea of exactly what's taking place now, what many of our officers are facing. So I'm going to ride with the state police in Herkimer County, with the Madison County Sheriff's Department in Madison County, and here in Oneida, we're in both cities, Utica and Rome, with UPD and RPD.
All right.
And I think this will be an opportunity to talk to the officers, to also to witness firsthand what's happening. I appreciate what they do each and every day and what they the challenges they're under, and I'm hopeful that the governor at least will consider something like this. When you consider we have an over $200 billion budget, and there's a lot of programs that she's looking to earmark and identify for additional resources, including mental health, which I agree with. But this is something that would be a step taken that would help many of these agencies who are facing a lot of challenges right now.
Yeah.
Senator, I know you know this, and I'll just say it out loud, and I'm not talking exclusively about people of color, but that recruitment, I think it would go over with some members of the state legislature if you said, look, we want to diversify the police force so that police in a particular neighborhood reflect that neighborhood. I think you'd have a better chance of getting a buy-in from some of the Democrats. I'm sure you know that already.
Yeah, absolutely, and we want to make sure that we're doing our best to recruit people that obviously are reflective of the community. We have a mosaic of the community here, not only individuals of color, Latina, we have immigrants and refugees. We see Bosnian police officers now in Utica. So there's so much that we can and should be doing, and I applaud the departments that they are really undertaking aggressive initiatives. The problem is you're seeing a lot of reluctance, particularly because of the way and what they've had to deal with over the last several years in trying to not only recruit new officers, but to retain what they have. And I think that is going to cause a major challenge and issue as we continue to do everything we can to ensure that we're keeping our community safe.
What do you? I saw, Joe, an interview with one of the legislators downstate that is all about bail reform, saying we've already made changes to bail reform. I don't think we should do anything to it at all. I think you have a great deal of resistance down there. That they feel there's a discrimination against certain populations, and I don't think they see that there's a problem.
No, absolutely. You're totally right. In fact, when the governor delivered the State of the State, it was very quiet when she proposed acknowledging that there needs to be adjustments and changes made. And we've indicated it could be as nominal as trying to give the judicial discretion and flexibility to the courts. But there's resistance and a reluctance from those downstate to actually participate and engage in this process because they feel that it's not gone far enough the other way and that we need to give it more time. So you're going to have a true philosophical and political divide on this issue, and that's the question now, whether the governor will truly push what she's proposed or whether it's just going to sit out there as a proposal. And the statistics are showing, in fact, I saw the DA was interviewed yesterday, and DA McNamara indicated that everything that he's seen indicates that crime is on the rise. And they're having problems even attracting prosecutors. So there are a lot of issues, post-pandemic related issues, and just the issues in general relative to the shortages that we're seeing, which still continues to baffle me in many ways. But on the other hand, right now, I think we need to address some of the key areas, whether it's healthcare, education, law enforcement, public safety. Those are the areas that we need to focus on to ensure we continue to provide an essential service to the community. This particular instance, I think if she embraces this proposal that I have advanced, and if we can get support for that, that will help. And I think it goes a long way in supporting our departments across the state. And I look forward to the opportunity over the next couple of months of witnessing what's taking place out there.
Phil Selman is a comedian who's in studio. And Phil, did you watch any of the Woodstock documentary stuff?
Yes, I did.
This is the senator who was mayor of Rome at the time that Woodstock came to Rome.
Oh, wow.
And now he's a state senator. So he was trying to break remember, Joe, on breaking the bottle of champagne that wouldn't break. They gave you a faulty bottle of champagne is what they did.
Well, Magnum. I haven't had a Magnum since then, Bill, of a bottle of champagne. But there was not an ordinary bottle. But in the end, we did break the bottle.
That's right. That's right. It took a few times though, and the producers of the documentary had fun with that. Shame on them.
Indeed, they did, as I anticipated they would.
Yeah.
Just one minor clarification. The judicial discretion, is that in line with what Mary Ann's proposing? I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure with the Assemblywoman's proposed, but I think she's in sync on that.
Yep.
And something many of us have talked about, that it's just a simple thing that can be done by giving judges the authority, the responsibility, because that's within their responsibility, ultimately what they do as members of the court, to have that discretion and flexibility based upon what's being presented before them to make determinations.
Shouldn't though they have the ability to hold someone without bail if the danger is that large for the public?
Well, I believe so, and there are some instances where they still have that opportunity right now. But look, this is something that, I totally disagree with the way this was done. And I believe that we need to scrap it and start all over again. I'm okay with reform, but if you reform things, you really should be talking to people on the ground. You should be talking to law enforcement and criminal defense attorneys and prosecutors to get their perspective of what needs to be done and should be done as we're developing policy. Too often in Washington and Albany, what we see happening is politicians making decisions without really talking to people. You saw that in education. In fact, I'll be talking to Dr. Pims later today about some of the issues and challenges in education today. And you saw that when they were undertaking programs, they to speak to the administrators or the educators as to what really could and should be done in the classroom. And they were implementing policy. That's wrong, and that's what needs to change. In the end, those decisions are made within the legislative process, but we should gather and solicit that input, at least from those who are on the ground.
Senator Griffo, thank you. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, my pleasure. Take care, guys.
And be careful. Safe. Be careful in those police cars.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Senator Joe Griffo, Phil Selman, comedian here in studio. Are you following any of the Santos?
Yes.
Because you're downstate, right? You're here's this guy now lied about his mother being in the Trade Center when the buildings were attacked on 9/11.
He's lied about everything.
He has. I mean, how is this guy still in Congress right now?
Well, I do have to say this. I agree that this guy is a clown and probably a scumbag. I guess I'll use that word. I think if all this had come out before the election, he wouldn't have been elected. But the people in his community did elect him. It's on them to remove him. I don't know that it's appropriate that a lawmaker from Texas, Florida, or another part of the state comes in and says, you have to be out. And then how do they pick the replacement? The people in his community did elect him. I mean, people have been elected from prison before. Who was it? Mayor? Was it the D.C. mayor?
No, it was the Providence mayor. Well, D.C. mayor.
Marion Barry. He did get elected.
And then the Providence mayor was reelected a couple of times after getting out of prison. But he was a hero in Rhode Island.
Right. They decided that, though.
But this guy, maybe you're right. I don't know. Should he go, Bill?
I think he should go.
He's got to go.
I think they should get him out, but it's up to the people in his district, is my point, to get him out.
I don't think they're happy because he hasn't shown himself in that area. He's staying away from everybody.
He better be careful when he says, I'll step down when, all of the majority of the voters say it's time for me to step down. Well, you better be careful because they all might raise their hand and say goodbye.
Buddy Cianci was the
Buddy Cianci in Providence. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you about, and we'll break and talk more with Phil coming up next hour, a legend in comedy who has really launched many careers
except my own.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
River Hills Properties is the fastest growing real estate company, I should say, in Central New York. And it's all about the services they provide. When you list your home with the Monjos, Bill and Robin Monjo at River Hills Properties, or any of their agents, it's all of the extra things that are done to make your life easier when you're selling that property and to make the home sell better and more efficiently and quicker. You're in good hands because your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. They take the time to learn everything there is to know about the property, and they're there to ask questions, to make sure the lights are on, to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward when you're showing the property. And when I say the lights are on, that's a big deal. The house is tidied up. It's ready to be shown. That does not happen with other agencies. It's River Hills Properties. Call them today, 315-896-1009, 896-1009. See why it's better to list with River Hills Properties. In Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and all of upstate New York. It's River Hills Properties. WIBX Utica, Rome.
Bugs him.
It's 8 o'clock.
Stop asking about it. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden said that while answering their questions about classified documents found at his home in an old office from his time as vice president.
I think you're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do.
Now, House Republicans want to know who might have had access to the documents at the Biden home. The Secret Service says it can provide visitor logs. Congressman Austin Scott tells Fox Business.
The Justice Department is using kid gloves with regard to the current president of the United States, and they used FBI tactical raids with the former president of the United States. So it's a total double standard.
Referencing the FBI seizing classified materials from former President Trump's Florida resort. Anti-abortion advocates are gathering in Washington for their 50th March for Life, but it's different this year. No longer protesting the Roe v. Wade decision that made abortion legal nationwide. The Supreme Court undid that last year, allowing states to ban or restrict abortions, and that ruling was leaked in advance. And it's still a mystery by who.
Dozens of interviews and cyber forensics have so far, based on the preponderance of evidence, not determined who the individual was. The marshal of the court has overseen the 8-month investigation, concluding it is unlikely the court's IT systems were accessed improperly from the outside.
Fox's Jared Halpern, a gunman, went into a Walmart last night in Evansville, Indiana, scaring shoppers who ran until police went in and killed him. Another person was shot and wounded. More people are losing their jobs, more big tech layoffs. Google will pink slip 12,000 employees, similar to cuts at Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft. T-Mobile's been hacked again, affecting 37 million wireless phone customers.
Currently, T-Mobile is notifying affected customers and believes the most sensitive types of records like credit card and social security numbers and account passwords were not compromised.
Fox's Hillary Barsky says the hackers did get addresses, phone numbers, and birth dates. America's listening to Fox News.
Inflation is nothing more than a legal form of theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you still can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word PROTECT to 989898. And my friends from Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust, so text PROTECT to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Snowing here in Marcy, those big, heavy, wet snowflakes coming down quite quickly. At 8:03, this news update is brought to you by My Carl's Mega 4-Day Sale. It is going on now. Queen mattresses starting at $199, sofa and love seat sets from $799, bedroom sets from $599. Shop My Carl's today in the New Hartford Shopping Center or at Destiny USA. A Central New York senator preparing to get a first-hand look at crime and other issues facing law enforcement. We just spoke with Senator Joe Griffo, who plans ride-alongs with multiple area police agencies. Additionally, he's written Governor Kathy Hochul pitching a plan to invest $300 million to bolster public safety across the state. That money would be allocated over 3 years at $100 million each year, and then it would break down with the 80% portion going to pay for the salaries of police officers and the rest going toward equipment. A GoFundMe now set up to help out the family of an 11-year-old Syracuse girl tragically killed earlier this week. It happened on Monday night. Brexley Ortiz was shot to death in a drive-by shooting. She was on her way home from the store where she had purchased a gallon of milk, rushed to the hospital where she later died. You can contribute to that GoFundMe page. Just search Brexy's Legacy at GoFundMe.com. The owners of a Central New York brewery are reacting to those who object to the name of one of their best brews. The issue highlighted in a recent New York Post article where some leaders of the Buddhist and Hindu religions say they take exception to use of the word nirvana the name of an IPA made by Cooperstown's Omegang Brewery. In response to the criticism, the brewery releasing a statement to WIBX, they say they don't want to disrespect any community. They explain how they named the beer, and they also say they are giving consideration to a possible name change. We'll discuss that this hour here on the Keeler Show. You can also read more and the full statement from Omegang on our website at WIBX950.com. The American Red Cross offering blood donors a chance to watch Super Bowl 57 in person next month. All you have to do is donate blood before January 31st. You'll win round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the game, along with a $500 gift card. Just make an appointment online at redcrossblood.org. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for continued snow showers through the day today. We'll have a high reaching 37 degrees. Overnight tonight, again, a chance of snow showers, otherwise mostly cloudy, a low of 26. Clouds stick around for your Saturday, a high of 33. Could see some snow showers on Sunday after 1 p.m., mixing with rain showers as well, otherwise mostly cloudy and a high of 37. Snowing quite heavily here in Marcy. 34 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:06. Here's Keeler with sports.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals will go at it this weekend and fighting for that spot in the AFC Championship game when both sides clash in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs on Sunday. The Bills advanced with a squeak by the Miami Dolphins, 34-31, and Cincinnati did almost the same with the Ravens, winning 24-17. It'll be quite a game as the Bills and Bengals go at it on Sunday. Of course, the Giants are playing Sunday as well.
The Giants game Saturday night. That's the late game Saturday. Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have that in my sports, but that's another biggie. And there are those out there saying do not count out the New York Giants in this game.
Nagel, of course, who I've renamed the Eagles team the Philadelphia Nagels because he's such a big fan. He told me there's some bulletin board material going around. I disagree with him. The Giants sent out a notice to players saying, I'm looking for the reason. The uniform company who makes our jerseys cannot make any more for us this year. So it is a common thing you'll see after a lot of football games. The players will go, and maybe it's the player they're matched up with during the game. They'll exchange jerseys and sign each other's jersey. Well, the Giants sending out a note to their players saying, we'll be wearing the white game jerseys all through the playoffs. Do not give your game jersey away or swap it with another player from Philly after the upcoming game. We need these white game jerseys until we're finished with all of our playoff games. In other words, we're going to win Sunday, and when we win, don't give your jersey away. Nagel thinks this is bulletin board material that's going to fire up the Eagles. I think Brian Daboll's got some swagger, and I like it.
Listen, do not count them out. That's all I can say. Devils falling to Kraken in overtime. 4-3 was the final in Seattle. The Suns hold off the Nets, 117-112. What else do I have? The Islanders lose to the Sabres, 3-2. And the Sabres have snapped their two-game losing skid. And the Bruins' winning streak is up to 4 games after Boston topped the Rangers 3-1 at Madison Square Garden. College basketball, Syracuse is 12-7 heading into tomorrow's game at Georgia Tech. And that'll be a 12 noon game, Davey. That will be on the Yes Network. No? Yes. Okay. That's tomorrow at noon. Comets are home tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. And they'll be playing Syracuse, the Crunch. Quite a few games with the Crunch right now. Tomorrow, they go on the road and play in Syracuse at the War Memorial. Utica College, Utica University, Pioneers at Lebanon Valley in men's hockey tonight and tomorrow night. A couple of big conference games to play there. Utica City FC is on the road as well. And there you have sports. Phil Selman, comedian with Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend, in studio, braved the weather and came up here and is hanging out here this morning. We'll talk more with him coming up in a second. Stand by. We're coming right back at WIBX.
Discover the difference that comes from a financial partner committed to building better tomorrows. I'm Jim McGuire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Utica. As a provider of trusted financial services in Utica, Baird is committed to making the future brighter for you and for our community. That's why we support local organizations like the Women's Fund of Herkimer and Oneida counties and the Capitol Theater in Rome, because we care about Utica. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdUtica.com.
Attention small business owners, did you know that 66% of new businesses fail within the first year? Don't let your business become a statistic. Go Inesio. Build, protect, and grow your small business with Inesio Technology Solutions. Inesio is dedicated to helping our central New York community thrive by providing affordable, secure, and scalable technology solutions exclusively for startups and small businesses. Find out everything we have to offer at goinesio.com. GOINIZIO.com.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
Some people got COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes. And that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
After 32 years as a Mason, Steve retired right before the holidays, but that career took a toll on his body, and he never slept well. He said he was going to get a new bed, but he and his wife, Angela, never made it in before the holidays. They came into Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Red Lobster and selected a Q9 King number bed, flex head. Steve liked his side firm. He was a 40. We elevated his head and feet and put the massage on high. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Angela, who'd been sleeping in a separate bed because Bill couldn't sleep through the night, liked it softer. We set hers on 32, elevated her head a little less, her feet a little higher, and put the massage on low. They said it was perfect. They were thrilled to find out we held over our promotion of $1,000 prepaid Visa card or a 75-inch flat screen TV. Steve got the TV. It was affordable because they qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down. Make that trip today or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
So Phil Selman is a comedian. Is in the studio here this morning with Fat Katz Comedy Club this weekend. We'll give away some tickets. Shows tonight. Let's see. There's nothing available in the 9:15 show tomorrow night, but 7:30 tonight there's a show, and 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Tickets available by going to fatcatscomedyclub.com. And I want to give you an update, if I could, on Jimmy Fallon. Of course, Jimmy is on noon till 3 every day here on WIBX and radio stations across the country. On February 17th, he'll be coming up here. He'll do our show and then do his national show from our studio around the country. And after that, he'll perform shows at Fat Cats Comedy Club on February 17th and 18th. I just give you an update, and this is a very important update. All 4 shows overnight have sold out. So I did actually have someone who needed to move their seats from Saturday night to Friday night. And last night I moved them, and I have just opened up their 4 seats. So there are 4 seats left.
Period.
At 7 p.m. No, that's not true. I screwed that up. There are 4 seats left at 9:15 p.m. 4 seats left at 9:15 p.m. that will go open in just a few minutes. All right?
All right.
Other than that, it is completely sold out.
Excellent.
Craziness, right? And again, I'm changing it because I made a freaking mistake. I swear to God, I'm an idiot. I opened up the wrong show. I opened up the 7 o'clock, and the 7 o'clock does not have any room, but it's the 9:15 show, and I'm going to open that coming up in a second. Jeff, you talk to Phil while I do this, because I just screwed up royally.
So, Phil, we were talking earlier, and you hilariously said you've launched a ton of careers but your own. For those who aren't familiar with you, you've been to the area before. Extremely funny. Tell us about you and what you do on the stage.
I kind of, it's sort of like a Don Rickles-esque type act, kind of working off the crowd and insulting people.
So it's a different show every time, obviously. You got a different crowd.
There's always a different crowd.
He works the crowd like nobody else.
How long have you been doing this?
I'd rather not say.
All right, sounds good. Where else do you perform? A lot in New York City?
I've performed in 40 states, Canada, Europe, Mexico, the Caribbean. The farthest I went was Kuwait for the military.
Wow, that's great.
And I've been in four movies.
What movies?
I was in Saturday Night Fever. I'm dating myself.
You were
dancing alongside John Travolta.
That
I had a white linen suit and the hair like his with the firm.
That is awesome. I never knew that.
If you watch it, you see another person it was me with a white suit there.
Wow.
And I don't use that credit anymore because the last time I did, the guy goes, "This next comedian was in the movie Saturday Night Fever. He must be very old," and that was a while ago. So I don't use that credit.
That's it. That's gone.
Can't use that credit anymore.
Yeah, that's so funny. And boy, his career just took off, right? Holy crap!
And Fran Drescher. Fran Drescher was also before she was famous in that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
What other movies?
My last movie was a movie called Blood Night, a horror movie that can be found.
Gotcha. Kind of hard to top Saturday Night Fever, though.
True. Yeah, that's all. From that point on, it's all.
Yeah,
downhill.
right. That's
I was in an episode. I was on Law and Order. I was on People's Court, and I was on TMZ.
What did you do on People's Court?
I lost.
And Law and Order, were you a perp?
I was a lawyer.
Oh, you were
a lawyer, yes, with a suit on.
Now, did you get a lot of that stuff out of New York, or did you have to go to L.A. for all that stuff?
No, that's all out of New York.
All out of New York.
Because when in my 20s, I always would go out to L.A. for like a month or two, audition for stuff, perform, and get nothing, and come back.
Yeah.
It was just, and out there was just too. Just too out there. Nobody wants to know you. Everybody.
I got to tell you, it's so hard. I know it's hard in that business because you can work. You could be working like today. You could be working all day long and be in movies and commercials and that sort of thing. It just until you hit it and get the big gig, it doesn't pay very well. And how do you survive in New York City or in L.A. like that? It's very hard.
Right. Well, it's cheaper in L.A. I believe it's cheaper to live in L.A. than it is to live.
Well, because all you need is a tent. You sleep right on the street.
No, that's true. There are homeless people there,
Yeah.
but I think it is cheaper out there. But it's all spread out, though.
And you've when we say you've launched a lot of careers, you've done a lot of and I think one of the YouTube videos I was watching of you, you had a whole bunch of young comedians that you brought on stage and you kind of give them the advice and you move them up and some of them have taken off.
Right, and then of course, because what's the first thing when you become successful? Forget Phil Selman. That's the first.
Yeah.
Forget Phil Selman. Who? Phil Selman. Chris Rock never showed up for a show I booked him at, and I lost like $100. And I saw him somewhere. I said, "Could you please give me that $100?" And I don't have any money on me.
Wow.
Because he's not all there, Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
What do you think of? I think we might have talked about when you were up here the last time about the slap.
I think it was bad. I think it was totally inappropriate.
Yeah,
thoroughly inappropriate.
And it helped. If it helped anybody, it helped Chris Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought it was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Can I just
It wasn't
get...
even a bad joke.
Yeah, it's a
He
joke.
insulted his wife who has a medical
Yeah,
condition.
but
I can understand why he was
I didn't know.
offended.
I didn't know she had a medical condition.
Right.
I thought that was just a choice, a hairstyle.
Yeah.
And he didn't know either. Obviously, he was a comedian,
Obviously.
comedian making a joke.
Yeah.
No, I understand the offense, but I also understand why it was innocent. He put it out there
I think
innocently.
I believe he's banned from the Academy Awards for 10 years.
He is.
Can I just say, what are your thoughts on, because there's some people who are saying Will Smith just dropped a new movie, and I don't know what it is, but people are saying boycott the movie, don't go to it, he's a horrible person. What about all the other actors, and what about the producers who didn't slap Chris Rock? Do they have to take the loss here as well?
But he's the lead, and he's the one. He's the main
you
guy.
buy into that?
I don't
Oh,
want.
come
You know what?
on.
I don't want to see it.
He's the main guy.
I don't like him anymore. It's just I don't, because he did that. I don't.
I'm with you. And my wife is the same way about it. And nor will we watch any Tom Cruise movies because he's a whack job.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
And the
one.
way the Scientology thing that he's he's imposing on everybody else. He's telling everybody else what to do. I'm not into that guy.
Plus, he's got more Botox than Biden.
I think everything is fake on that guy. I
Yeah.
think he's like 5'5" too. He's very, very short. Tom Cruise.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, they shoot him out. If he looks bigger in the in the
they make
movies,
him look enormous.
big.
Yeah.
I think he's like 60 years old now. Tom Cruise.
I know. Yeah, there's got to be work done.
Oh,
there.
everything. I would say everything has been done on him.
Yeah, but I agree on the Will Smith thing. I mean, that was a bad move.
They should have thrown him out, and they shouldn't have let him win the award after that. 'Cause
Yep,
it's like
I agree.
they just went like, oh, nothing happened. That just
and he sat there and simmered. He should have been kicked out. Should have been kicked out. But if you notice, Will Smith came out maybe a couple of months ago and did an interview and said, "Listen, you know what I did was wrong. I'm obviously."
It took him a long time to apologize.
It did take him a long
He should have
time.
done it immediately.
But his way of working on the movie was saying, "I understand there's some people that don't want to see this movie because of me, but please don't hurt all the other actors in the movie. Don't hurt the producers. Don't hurt the people."
Yeah, but people go to see the movie because of him. Nobody cares
right.
about nobody cares
You're
about
right.
the other people.
You guys make a good point. I think I
argument
sell
worked.
it better than Will Smith does, to be honest with you. You'd rather have a third party saying that about the other cast members than him saying it, knowing he's
Right.
getting a big
You know,
paycheck. at the end of it.
as someone who's been threatened on stage innumerable times, I think that's a bad.
You have because
I had one time I was doing a show and John Gotti kicked me in the rear at a show once.
Really?
Serious?
I was doing a show in Howard Beach, the first time in Howard I was ever in Howard Beach, which is where the mafia was born in New York. And I'm doing a show in this big, tremendous club that could hold like 500 people, and there's nobody in the place. It was the bartender, the waitress, the manager, and the other comics. And me with my interactive act. There's a guy comes into the back door. What's your name? What do you do for a living? Nothing. Sir, why don't you kiss my ass? So I bent down, and he came running, and he kicked me really hard in the rear. And then all the people that came running because they thought he was going to kill me.
Oh my God!
But he left afterwards, and I didn't know who he was.
Wow!
So when I see a gentleman with a velour in a velour warm-up suit with a gold chain, I say nothing to him anymore in the future.
So if you don't want to be,
I could have been killed. I could have.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It totally could have happened.
Yeah.
You remember the story about when his kid was hit, right? There was a guy.
Yeah, they killed. He got killed.
Who hit his kid?
It was an
killed
accident.
him.
It was an accident, but they killed the guy.
It was a total accident, but they hunted the guy down and they killed him.
Oh, in the car.
Yeah.
Yes, he hit him, and it was on his bicycle, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And it was
that's
completely an
terrible.
accident. And that guy, he should have left the country.
It's terrible.
I'm
It's
surprised
terrible all the way
you're
around.
still in the country.
I did a show once in Poughkeepsie, and I was insulting somebody. He was wearing like a leather jumpsuit. Once again, that's an indication not to screw with somebody.
Yeah.
He looked like Charles Manson, and then I realized he had a gun in his pocket.
Oh my God!
And I said, "You better shoot me and make it all quick because I'm going to haunt you." And then everybody cleared out. It was like something like out of a western.
Wow!
Everybody cleared out, and I remember this one comedian who was always saying he's a tough guy was hiding in the ladies' room. And it was, but the police came pretty quickly.
Oh my God, that was like
And
Funny Bone.
to tell you how long ago this was, I don't know if you remember the Tawana Brawley incident that occurred.
Yes, yeah.
That was around that time, and I said, I hope I really do get raped, sir, before you kill me.
Wow.
With the Tawana Brawley, referencing Tawana, because that didn't happen with Tawana.
Right,
That was
right.
an Al Sharpton maneuver.
Yes, I remember that.
I almost hit Al Sharpton with my car once in the city, but that's another story.
And that's the thing.
It was an accident, but he would have damaged my car. It was when he was fat. He was walking with these two big, like Dwayne Reed shopping bags, and I screamed, "Get out of the way, you fat idiot!" And I said, "That's Al Sharpton."
Wow.
Still get out of the way.
Yeah,
But,
he's like a third of the size that he used to be.
he doesn't look. He looks like
Oh.
he doesn't look right. He
The only thing that stayed the same size is his head. Right? When you look at him, his body's small, but the head stayed the same.
At this point, I'd rather see him than Eric Adams. Eric Adams, that guy will come to the opening of an envelope. That guy comes to the opening of a refrigerator. That guy is everywhere, and he lives in Jersey. He lives in New Jersey.
Does he really?
He lives in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
How can he do that?
That's
and
his
be
mother.
married?
That's his house. He grew up with his mother in Brooklyn. He lives in Fort Lee.
Did not know that.
Yes.
Wow.
For a cop, he is not making police very happy.
He was one of the bad 100 ones, though.
Yeah.
He was one of the bad. I know some guys who are cops that are that I do shows for, and they're not wild about him.
So I think you get attacked sometimes because you were an insult cop.
Well, you know what? I'm much kinder and gentler now. I was much nastier in the early days, and I would like fight with people. I'm calmer. Since I stopped drinking. I believe that had, in April will be 20 years since I stopped drinking.
It is.
Congratulations. Wow. I was arrested working with Jimmy Walker to make it worse than it should have even been. Because every time I hear that theme song, I feel the handcuffs. Because that guy, he's just not he's not a good luck charm for me. That guy.
No, we've had him up here before.
But that was the TMZ though. That's when I had TMZ come knowing where he was going to be, and they tortured him.
Oh,
and I was standing right next to him as they were tortured. It was Roger Paul who was on one side of him, and then me. And of course, Roger's hiding. He doesn't want to be seen by anyone.
Roger's
Paul,
the agent that books all the shows.
But no, Jimmy Walker. That incident. It was what was the name of it? Can't remember the name of the town now. I've blocked it out of my mind.
Well, I'll tell you this: when we brought him up, we brought him up, and we're all excited. It's like Jimmy J.J. Walker. This is big, and he's a big '70s star, and it's like first question out of our mouths, right? And he hated it. Was you got to say
Dynamite? Right?
No.
But now he does.
He does now. There's a commercial now. He's doing.
No, the reason that he does it now is because there was a DJ on satellite named JJ, calling himself JJ Walker, and he was saying dynamite. So that's what forced him to. He wouldn't say dynamite unless he was getting $5,000.
Yes, he wanted to be paid.
Yeah, but now he'll say it because that other guy he wanted to sue that guy.
Well, what else does he have?
It's his only identity, right?
Yeah, nothing else.
And he's not for the record, he's just not the funniest.
He's
comic.
not funny, and he's not a very nice guy.
And he's not a nice guy.
No.
That's very unfunny.
I can't imagine how bad he must have been when he at his peak of success. How nasty he must have been.
Oh, I can only imagine. Right. Well, when that was big in the '70s, it must have been tough to deal with him. So you have all of these stories. You worked with all of these people. Did you ever work with Gallagher? I think we might have.
Yeah, I worked with Gallagher. He was a character.
Did he carry around the iPad? I mean, he came here and stayed for 3 months and wouldn't go. Going to live with his fans and.
Was he living with a fan? Was he?
He did. He did. But I wrote a little piece on this. It's worth reading. If you look it up, it's Gallagher and WIBX in my name, and it would pop right up. But it was his time with us, and he stayed with the fan, but got in an argument with the wife, and was telling the husband he needed to leave the woman because she was such a blank. And it was like Christmas Eve. They kicked him out. Again. And I had to go pick him up.
Christmas Eve, he's telling two fans, a husband and wife, trying to convince one to divorce the other on Christmas Eve. Are you kidding me?
Brilliant guy, though.
Yeah.
But
at one point.
But I do think he was so smart that he just became mean to everybody. I don't know.
Well, there was a time when his brother was doing the act. There was Gallagher, too. And because the thing is, because he was playing all the big places and he was doing the smaller places, and it got to the point where they wanted to book Gallagher too because he was cheaper.
Yeah,
because he looked just like him.
And it was the same thing.
And I asked him when I was with him, I said, "What's with your brother?" He goes, "I don't have a brother."
Yeah,
they added
that didn't change when he was here like 7 years ago. He was still the same way.
Remember, he was pitching that idea though, where it was basically instead of a hotel or a convention center. It was that, but it was all an open room. There would be a side for the guys.
Like 20 doors or something.
Yeah,
I heard it.
We all heard those stories. Like he had 50 ideas that were going to change the world, and I feel like those ideas died in his iPad when he died.
Possible.
But the other part is, he funded all of those Showtime specials. All those big specials, he funded them all because no one would work with him.
But it made him. He was big. He was very big.
He made a huge amount. He was the highest grossing comic in the country back in the early '80s. He was the guy.
Wow. He was real big.
Yeah, and it all went away because he just couldn't get along with anybody. So interesting. Phil Selman, he knows where all the bodies are buried. Trust me. In studio at Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. Davey, hook up a first caller through the lines. Table for 6 this weekend. Either show, Friday or Saturday. 315-736-0186. 829 at WIBX.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get ready for war. CNY Wing Wars is back for its 6th year on Saturday, February 4th. Brought to you by the Joseph Michael Chubbuck Foundation. Come enjoy the spoils of the most delicious war in history at the Harts Hill Inn in Whitesboro. Participants include Ray Brothers Barbecue, Pizza Boys, Hot Off the Brick, Killabrew, Fratello's, Tony's of New Hartford, Utica Barbecue, Pizzeria Italia, Piggy Pats, Knuckleheads, Celtic Harp, and Lukens. Let your voices be heard by voting for your favorites in Best Wing and Most Unique categories. Featuring a panel of special guest judges, including yours truly, Will Phillips from WOUR. Admission is $30 and includes a slice of pizza, wing sampling, and 1 free beer or soda. Tickets are extremely limited and will sell out, so don't drag your feet. 100% of the proceeds will assist cancer patients in Oneida and surrounding counties. Grab your tickets now through thejmcf.org or by calling 315-339-5993. Don't miss the 6th annual CNY Wing Wars.
Hey, I got to tell you, if you're having a get-together this weekend or you just want to enjoy the most delicious imported artisanal cheeses, premium, not grocery store cheese, this is something special. It's artisanal premium cheese located in Hemstratz at 900 Oswego Street in Utica. They're open 7 days a week, and you can do a charcuterie board. They have the imported charcuterie. As well as the most amazing imported cheeses, breads, cured meats, pastries, and, of course, Half Moons. It's the original home of Half Moons, and all available for any get-together you have. And, you know, Valentine's just around the corner. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. It's Hemstratz, open 7 days a week, 900 Oswego Street in Utica.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Hi, this is Shalene with Northland Trailers located on River Road in Marcy. At Northland, we offer a full line of utility, snowmobile, enclosed, dump, and equipment trailers. We can also custom design a trailer to meet your specific needs. In addition to trailers, we have a full parts showroom, and we service what we sell. Our family business is proud to have been serving our community for over 4 decades. Northland Trailers is located right outside the city of Utica. So swing on down and let's talk towing.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Alfred State University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Alfred State is proud to strengthen our long history of working with unions to create non-traditional pathways for career advances in the skilled trades.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Hey, New York Sash put in some amazing windows, triple pane. We use the grids, so they just look classic and completely changed the look of our home. We did the front of the house last spring. This spring we'll do the back of the house. And the New York Sash people are just the installers, the people we dealt with, wonderful to work with. They take care of your property and your home, and even consider your neighbor's property as well. It's just a wonderful experience to work with them. And right now, New York Sash is calling 2023 the year of giveaways. They're giving away a prize in their showroom every single month. And right now, all you have to do is enter to win a 6-month membership to the Mill Family Fitness Center in New York Mills, and you'd enter right in the showroom at New York Sash. They want to help somebody start off the year right. If you're looking to improve your well-being, stop in. Go into the showroom anytime this month and sign up. It's a 6-month fitness membership valued at over $200. And while you're there, you can look at all the products they have on display and talk about improving your home with energy-efficient windows and doors. Even take advantage of the New York Sash Buy 2, Get 1 Free sale, which is going on right now. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get 1 free. No purchase necessary on the giveaway. Just stop in to enter at New York Sash on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, so we learned that David Crosby has passed away. And I didn't realize this, but somebody said this morning that he might have died from COVID. That's what that ultimately did him in.
Everything that guy did with all the drugs and everything, and then COVID.
COVID. I mean, that's the one. Think about that. You know, I've survived everything. I survived. Anybody else would be dead. I've survived it all, and then along comes this virus and it kills them.
It's funny because all the people who I knew who were so against ever getting vaccinated, they were the ones who were like crazed drug addicts. You know, when you were snorting coke off a toilet somewhere, it didn't seem to bother you, but getting a vaccine was scary to them.
I'm not putting that in my body.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even the people when they were smoking away, they're puffing on a cigarette. I will not put that in my body. It's like, okay, whatever you think. But in this case, they say that's what did him in. 81 years old.
The report I have here from, this is actually published by NPR and has not been updated since 7 p.m. It says no cause of death was given at the time
Drudge
of the
is
initial
reporting.
report.
Drudge is reporting that it was COVID.
So I have to tell you this again. I'm kind of a music misfit. I listen to a lot of things, but I don't know a ton about music. I know you know that, but he doesn't. So I briefly, very early on, was doing some shifts overnight on Light, right, which is like a soft rock type thing. And they would
Recently?
No.
Right.
When I first started.
Yeah, years ago.
Stuff would be like 20 years ago. Like Crosby, Stills, and Nash stuff would come up all the time on that station. I never knew he was a rocker. I thought he was like one of these soft rock guys.
Well, he was, right? You'd say he was, but he was also, you know, he played in, he was still a folksy type of guy.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Well, what about Jeff Beck? Jeff Beck was
something.
Another one.
You know,
that happened actually. That broke when we were on the air doing that special show that night.
Yeah, that's right. Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday night.
So the back story that I had that I thought was really interesting is, you know, Joe Bonamassa, who may very well be one of the greatest. Definitely is one
of the best guitar players. He's
one of the best guitar players in the world, and he's from Utica. So he's from
he
here.
is. I didn't know that.
So the story is that they were playing in London. Clapton was there, Jeff Beck was there, and others. And Bonamassa's out there playing, and Beck is like, I'm not going out. I don't want, I just want to go out. He said, I can't go. I can't follow that kid, Joe Bonamassa. And you know, Jeff Beck is an amazing, one of the greatest guitar players in the world.
He like offered to be in the Rolling Stones? I think. But he didn't want to do it. Ron Wood. They got Ron Wood instead.
Yeah, and a very temperamental guy. I mean, when you read through some of his history, but that was a great loss. I don't know what's going on. We're losing some great ones. In this case, considered as a folk rock pioneer, David Crosby died yesterday. He was 81. Earlier this morning, I used on our free money question that he named his kid Django, right? D-J-A-N-G-O. Rick this morning says, I'll make you a bet that David Crosby named his kid Django after Django Reinhardt, the famous guitarist. I never thought about that, but that's probably where that came from. Anyway, he was a founding member of the Byrds. Became a real name for himself when teaming with Stephen Stills and Graham Nash in 1969. Here's a montage of some of his best songs with those groups. Here we go.
Cut my hair. Wooden ships on the water, very free. Carry on. I have been around the world, so much time to make up everywhere you turn. Time we have wasted on the way. Just a song before I go to whom it may concern.
Yeah, this is what you were playing.
On Light.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, you know, they call him a rock legend. He was, but it was more of this style of folk rock, you know. which, in the 60s and 70s, this was really, really big. David Crosby was one of the founding members of the Byrds, along with Roger McGuinn, Gene Clark, and Chris Hillman. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991. And here's a montage of Crosby singing background harmonies in some of the Byrds' best-known songs from the mid-60s. By the way, this song went to number 1. It's a Bob Dylan song, and they took it to number 1.
There is a season, and I probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. 8 miles high, and when you touch down. So you want to be a rock and roll star, then listen now to what I say.
So his, there's a couple of other cool things that I'll play. He was not an easy guy to get along with, David Crosby. And we did mention earlier that he donated his sperm to Melissa Etheridge so that they could end up having kids. And here he is talking about how, this is Graham Nash and David Crosby telling how they became the group Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and also sometimes Young. Here they go.
The Springfield had broken up. David had been thrown out with the Byrds, and David says to Stephen, sing that song.
In the morning, when you rise.
Do me a favor, sing it one more time.
I said, cry, my baby.
I got to the end of it, and I said, I might sound crazy, but sing it one more time.
And the third time, you put the harmony on.
And the difference between me and you, I won't argue right or wrong, but I have time to cry, baby. You don't have to cry.
So they were playing a song at Joni Mitchell's house when this whole thing went down, and that's he ended up with Joni Mitchell, and they don't get along anymore. That's where the rabbit hole I went down last night, watching a Joni Mitchell documentary, and she is talented but crazy. I mean, she's very out there. And apparently David Crosby, and this came from the Laurel Canyon documentary, David Crosby was terrified playing at Woodstock, and he did play at Woodstock with Crosby, Stills, and Nash in 1969. It was only the second time they had ever played in front of people, and it turned out to be a lot of people, of course, because of Woodstock. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with us Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
I remember being terrified. But nobody had seen us try to get up and sing harmony together. So they all came.
It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore.
Everybody we thought was cool in the world was standing in a huge semicircle behind us. Dead, Airplane Band, Hendrix, Who, they were all standing there on stage. If it was going to collapse, that's when it would have collapsed.
So 81, I guess I'm not surprised because David Crosby looked like he was 81, right?
Yeah, that's a good old age for people, rockers. 80.
It really is. Even Jeff Beck, though, was how old?
78, I believe.
78 years old. Think about that. And McCartney. I mean, all those guys.
Ginger Baker died relatively young.
Yeah. So many of. You're right. You make it to your 80s, and you lived that life in the 60s and 70s.
I believe maybe sometimes the pact with the devil. You're going to live.
Right.
You're going to die at a certain time.
Yeah.
Once again, that's another reason the devil's never been calling me. I've been available for all these years, and the devil hasn't wanted me.
Unwanted. He's unwanted.
Yeah, the devil, the Illuminati behind the big people in show business.
How about somebody like Keith Richards, who's just pickled? He's got to be, right. And
you have blood transfusions. Keith
and
Richards.
Mick Jagger. How does he hop around on that stage at that age? I mean, I can barely get out of bed. I don't understand it. It's crazy stuff. Let me speak with Christine Kiesel from the American Heart Association. They have just done a donation of blood pressure devices and doing it in a place where it's very quiet. Perfect place to have your blood pressure tested. Christine, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So you guys you've donated these for libraries, right?
Yes, we have donated 10 blood pressure cuffs each to Utica Public Library and Jervis Public Library in Rome.
Why libraries? Why did you choose libraries?
So libraries have over the years and through the pandemic become a steady and trusted resource for people in the community. And one of the key pieces is that everything at the library is free. So people are able to access blood pressure cuffs for free from either of these libraries.
Okay, all right.
Gotcha. You just go in, you don't make an appointment, you happen to be there, you can get it checked out and be on your way, right?
Yeah, so you can go in and borrow a blood pressure cuff to take home. But on the third Monday of each month, there will be either a health navigator or a nurse there to assist and take blood pressure. And then if your blood pressure reading is high, a referral will be made to a physician if someone doesn't already have a physician.
You know, this has become a real big thing in libraries where you take out things other than books. So this is a good example. But they were doing in the library, which library? It was Illion's public library was doing tools.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
You could take out a drill if you didn't own one, or a saw, or different various tools and that sort of thing. Public libraries have long been the place where the community meets, and you're able to take things out for free. You bring them back. This is a great example because blood pressure, making sure your blood pressure is not too high, is so important. It is the silent killer, right?
Yes, blood pressure is the leading risk factor for heart disease, which is, as you mentioned, the nation's #1 killer. And it is the silent killer because there aren't always symptoms when you have high blood pressure. So that's why the American Heart Association encourages everyone to know their numbers.
Yeah. Can you, one quick question, are you able to tell if your blood pressure is high? You call it the silent killer. Because there are some people that say, I know my blood pressure is high, I can feel it, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, so, it can cause symptoms, but it is, as we talked about, the silent killer, so it does not have to have symptoms. You could be walking around with high blood pressure and not know it.
Okay. All right, good stuff. I think it's a great program. Christine, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a great
Bye-bye.
weekend. The weekend tomorrow looking cloudy, but there is a possible storm brewing for Sunday night into Monday, they're saying.
Right now, the flakes are flying out there. They're coming down quick and heavy. Did it change back over to rain now? No, it's still snowing, yeah.
Got a break. We'll wrap it up here in studio. Phil Selman, comedian this weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Rain, snow, sleet, hail. He's like a mailman.
Nothing keeps Phil Selman from coming to perform.
Nothing keeps him away. 847 WIBX.
Oriskany Garage is your locally owned tire store that will compete with the internet retailers and chain stores on price, but we promise to crush them with personal and professional service. Give locally owned Oriskany Garage an opportunity to earn your tire and auto repair business. Brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs. Come and experience best of the best service at Oriskany Garage or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund ×2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Blending bluegrass and jam band music, Chicken Wire Empire brings a contemporary spin to its Midwest stylings. Hear what Jamgrass is all about when the band performs for the Concerts in the Court series at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 4th at Munson Williams in downtown Utica. Enjoy live music in the intimate setting of the museum's Root Sculpture Court.
For information on tickets, call 315-797-0055 or visit mwpai.org. Sponsored by Elizabeth Lemieux.
Hey, Ricky Z and everybody at Steet Pawnee Mazda want to wish you a Happy New Year and remind you that the place for new and pre-owned vehicles is Steet Pawnee Mazda. They continue with their Season of Inspiration sales event, continuing into the month of January. And they want to take just this moment to thank all of their friends and customers and the people who have made their way into their brand new, beautiful facility there. Thanking them and wishing them a happiest of New Year's 2023. Your continued support of the dealership is something that they truly value, respect, and appreciate, and that's how they treat you. It's a different buying experience. It's a different experience when you walk through the door. And that's Rick's way of doing things. That's the Steet Pawnee Mazda way of doing things as well. As Rick says, come on in. Let's make your deal on a new or pre-owned Mazda. From the family-owned and operated Steet Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Attention small business owners. Did you know that 66% of new businesses fail within the first year? Don't let your business become a statistic. Go Inesio. Build, protect, and grow your small business with Inesio Technology Solutions. Inesio is dedicated to helping our central New York community thrive by providing affordable, secure, and scalable technology solutions exclusively for startups and small businesses. Find out everything we have to offer at goinesio.com. GoINIZIO.com.
Mohawk Valley FCU wants to help you save money right now. They're extending their swap and drop auto loan promotion through the end of January 2023. Bring your car loan to Mohawk Valley FCU and they'll drop your rate up to 2% off your current rate for the remainder of the loan. That's up to 2% off your auto loan with locations on River Road in Marcy, in the state office building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you will receive the best service no matter where you are. Member focused, member driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
So we started this morning, let me tell you, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts. Chuck Sedella makes sure this is a mandate. It's been every time, every story he's ever run, every daylight that he's ever run. Daylight Donuts has the fastest drive-thru you'll find anywhere. You're in, you make your order, you pull up, and you're on your way. You will not sit there for an hour, a half an hour, 20 minutes. Because you're on your way to work. You got to get in and get out. That's the Daylight Donuts drive-thru in the village of New Hartford. And you try their lattes up to 14, 15 different flavors. And the best coffee, Seattle's best, fresh bagels and fresh donuts every single morning. It's Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford.
I have to tell you, every time I'm there, I agree. The drive-thru is very quick, with few exceptions. I feel like a couple times we've done a show down there, and I feel like I sat there for 3 hours, so I don't know.
Well, we did. Oh,
Sorry.
I get it. Right. We were
Very
sitting
dry
there
joke. Sorry.
for a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the program goes slowly. Today's not one of those days. Nirvana, what is this story all about? I think it's ridiculous.
All right, so essentially this was an article I found in the New York Post earlier this week. They were speaking to a gentleman who says that Hindu and Buddhist leaders want a New York brewery to change the name of their Nirvana IPA, complaining the moniker is disrespectful to their beliefs. Upset Hindus and Buddhists are urging Cooperstown, New York-based Omegang to apologize and withdraw its Nirvana beer, according to a statement issued by Rashan Zed, president of the Universal Society of Hinduism, and Buddhist minister Matthew Fisher. Okay, so essentially, right, Omegang has a beer called Nirvana. And I'll read you the statement. You can find this full story right now on our website, of course. A statement from Nirvana, and then the quotes from the religious leaders who said they took offense to it. And it's not only the beer. We'll get to that in a second. In response to the criticism, this is the statement we got from Omegang. The name Nirvana IPA is intended to celebrate the atmosphere in which we hope beer lovers will enjoy this beer, which is that of tranquility when the noise and cares of the world fall away. Brewery Omegang began distribution of Nirvana IPA in 2015. However, until today, we were unaware of the apparent concern or religious beliefs, the apparent concern with the name within the Hindu and Buddhist communities. We never intended to disrespect any community or religious beliefs by including Nirvana in the name IPA. We welcome the opportunity to educate ourselves and determine what potential changes we could consider to the beer. So I quickly followed up and I said, so wait a minute, you guys are actually considering a name change to this? And he said, yes, we absolutely are. And, the more I thought about it, I agree with you. This is ridiculous on its surface. But and probably Nagel's a better guy to shed light on this. Nagel's history being the beer guy, and he was familiar with all the different brews. Yeah. But this is kind of this craft beer family, if you will, is kind of with all due respect, a hippie, fun-loving, let's all get along and have a good time. They don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to appear divisive with their product.
I was trying to figure out a way to bring Phil Selman into this conversation. He's a comedian. He's been doing it for a long time. He is, you're an insult comic. You're the Don Rickles of today. Yes. A corporate roaster. You do a lot of that stuff.
Oh, I'd love to be there for those.
How in the hell can you survive in this world after that story? When you think about it, that's what our audiences have become.
It's ridiculous.
You can't offend anybody today. There's nothing you can say without offending someone.
Everything is it's just ridiculous. A pale ale? Will they have a problem with that next?
Right.
You're offending people that are pale.
You're right. You're right. The albinos of the world are rising up.
For everything. You can come with everything. I mean, I can't believe they still have Black Friday.
That's a very good point.
And it doesn't stop there.
That's a very good point. How do we say that?
The New York Post article also mentions that the same leaders they spoke with said it doesn't stop at the name of the Nirvana beer. They said they see nail salons all the time that's, perfect Zen or beautiful Zen.
They don't want that.
They don't think it's appropriate to use Zen in a business name either.
They don't own the trademark to the word Zen.
I agree with you 100%.
And I don't think this fits in anywhere into the category of like what the Native Americans have had a problem with, right? With the names.
Right.
That to me is different. They have a valid argument. This to me doesn't. This one doesn't.
I completely agree with both arguments, with both the things that you guys are saying. But I will say this: I just look at the beer community and they go, you know what? Let's just change the name and we'll have a couple beers and we'll come up with a new name and have a good time. They don't care.
I think Nirvana. I think, to be honest with you, I think that the beer company Omegang is basically calculating that we're going to get press out of this. We're in the New York Post. Hey, who in the New York Post, who reads the New York Post, really has heard about our beer in the last 2 years? Right?
Yes.
A small brewery up in Cooperstown. This is great advertising. I think they're running with it.
Absolutely. And the brewery is called Omegang. I headlined my story, and I'm sure I'll get criticized for this. Oh, my God, is what I called my story. So.
I like it.
Omegang? What is it called?
Omegang is the brewery.
That sounds a little disturbing. I think that sounds like something that maybe should be boycotted.
You're right.
That sounds like there could be some kind of
there were Native Americans.
Child molestation or something. Omegang.
Please don't do that. No, please.
It just has a bad ring to it. That sounds bad.
You went down that road.
But I'm just saying that sounds bad. That sounds worse than Nirvana. What about the band Nirvana?
You're right.
Boycott that music. I mean that band was around how many years ago?
Now they're coming forward.
Let's go after. Yeah, sue Nirvana. Don't sue this.
Thank you, Phil Selman, this morning. We appreciate you making the stormy ride up here.
Come see me in the snowstorm tonight, and come see me tomorrow.
By tonight, it'll be
hilarious.
It'll be cleared up. Shows tonight and tomorrow night. Go to fatcatscomedyclub.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
This weekend, big weekend, and be safe out there. And Davey, final score. Your prediction is Buffalo.
Buffalo 31, the Bengals 24.
Okay, I hope you're right. We're back here. We're back here on Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
They say they'll get you your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money. So forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter to win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends April 2nd, 2023. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
It's different this year. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Anti-abortion advocates are gathering in Washington for their 50th March for Life.
The first march following the U.S. Supreme Court overturning its 1973 Roe v. Wade decision that prevented states from deciding on their own whether to allow abortions. The organizers say they will still oppose pro-abortion legislation at all levels.
Fox's Evan Brown. The Supreme Court says it still has not found who leaked that abortion ruling months before the court issued the formal opinion, a decision that's led to fights in state courts over abortion bans or strict limits. There's a lawsuit now in Missouri.
The National Women's Law Center says it's representing 13 religious leaders of both Christian and Jewish faith who call Missouri's abortion law unconstitutional and who are suing to have it tossed